Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to Phil's Recap and Review. Better Call Saul, Season 6, Episode 9, fun and games. And we did it. We made it. We're in the Breaking Bad timeline. What an episode of television. This was a great fallout episode from the last two big, intense episodes that we had. We needed, and times, a catch your breath to figure a bunch of things out. But really what this was a series finale for Better Call Saul, for the Better Call Saul show. We even saw, the original lawyer guy in the courthouse for a second by the vending machine. We saw a shot of the coffee. We got a little montage at the beginning there. Everything that hit all those points from Better Call Saul leading up to this point to end this, because now we're in another timeline. If people didn't catch that at the end of the episode, I think we jumped 4 years in time in the matter of one little bedroom situation. I was like, is that Wendy the prostitute in bed with Saul? It wasn't. It was somebody else. But either way, it was great. We get to see that bald head. I almost expected the Walt and Jesse to show up at the end of the episode and walk in. I expected Francesca to guide in. Your first appointment is here, and have Walt walk in. But it didn't happen that way. But they're obviously coming very soon, possibly in the next episode. And oh my goodness, what an episode. We also get Don Eladio in one of the funniest moments we've had in a while, making fun of Hector with the ding, 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 ding. I can't hear that. You gotta leave, Gus. You gotta leave. I don't know if this is the last time we're going to see Mike and see Gus in this storyline. It very well could be, but obviously I'm burying the lead. Kim Wexler has left the building. Kim is gone. She's gone. She threw her law degree out, said the hell with that crap, moved on, left Mr. Saul Goodman, and Jimmy he begged, he pleaded. I mean, I think we've, maybe not everybody, but I've been in that position. You're there, you're begging, you're pleading, you're trying to make something work. You can't make it work, god damn it. Wow, what an episode of television, because you needed an episode like this because so much stuff happened. You had Jimmy and Kim completely gaslighting the woman that just lost her husband. That was just horrible. And then they got Stumpy Pete's in on the deal too, the Ed Bagley Jr. You get some of the callbacks from the other lawyer, Coakley, was that guy's name that was in the scene earlier too. What a great scene. A great episode. At the end there, I got so excited I bit the tip of my tongue and I started gushing blood. I was like, oh, goodness me. It's excitement. I like how we saw all, pretty much except for Tuco, which I know some people might have wanted to see Tuco. It would have been great to see him come back into the story at some point. Maybe they might get another cameo out of him that I don't know. From what I was reading and putting together, I don't have a lot of factual information right on my side right now to back this up, but what I've heard is that he doesn't really like the actor doesn't like the character of Tuco, and that's kind of why they wrote his character out earlier, and he only kind of came back for Better Call Saul as a favor to Vince, so we probably won't see him again, unfortunately. And I know some people, maybe there's more stuff you wanted to do in this timeline, but now I'm really excited because it seems like we're going to have a chunk of time in this future time. I don't know if we're going to go back. It seems like we're going to spend some time. Maybe we'll have a whole episode, this next episode. I don't get too much into the preview for next episode. I'll talk about that towards the end of things, but it does look like one of my predictions of we might get a Gene scene in the next episode, and things are happening. We're really hitting the ground running. And by the way, I'm not alone. I have with me all of you wonderful people in the live chat. Damn, it's great to see you guys. It's good to see all of you. And I also have a call-in line tonight. If you want to call and get your voice in, you can do that at 781-990-8509. Again, that's 781-990-8509. You can text that number too, just in case I miss your chat in the live chat, because it can move quickly. And I put it at, we still have 4 more episodes. We still have 4 more episodes. And they built this episode in some of the tweets that it was another heartbreaking episode because you knew coming off of everything that had happened, it was hard for me to imagine a situation where Kim and Jimmy stayed together. I know a lot of people said this is going to drive them together and hoped that situation might happen, but Kim processed it, dealt with it, and she in fairness, she didn't put it all on Jimmy. She took responsibility on herself. She said, I'm okay alone. You're okay alone. We're toxic together. We need to stop this. We need to get out of Dodge City here. And it was intense. It meant a lot. Their breakup was a hard scene to watch. And the intensity of this episode was different than the intensity of the last couple of episodes. This is more that real human drama stuff you got in the early parts of Better Call Saul, like with dealing with the Chuck and Jimmy situation. This felt real. Granted, they're dealing with the fallout of someone being murdered in their living room after a con they pulled. But Kim does take responsibility for herself. She didn't tell. We get what I wanted to see with she does disclose that she knew that Lalo was still alive, and Jimmy was just like, he didn't know how to process that, because from the beginning part of that scene, he was begging and pleading and saying, please stay, let's make this work, we can do this. But then once he heard that, he was like, whoa, it just freezed him in his tracks, because then he realizes that everything Jimmy did from the beginning part of this episode till the end when they finally did break up, and even if you can think through to the fast forward to the Saul Goodman stuff, it's putting this fake facade of things are okay out there. It's all going to be okay. It's all going to be okay. This face, even his ability to do that almost immediately hitting the ground running, compartmentalizing this and moving forward has been frightening. Watching it in the beginning part of this episode. The beginning part of this episode might have seemed like everything, there was very little dialogue in the beginning, but seeing how even right away Jimmy's making jokes, and I know gallows humor works for people. I'm very much a gallows humor kind of person, but Jimmy, the way he's processing everything, he wasn't helping himself, you know? And you see the contrast of the two of them with their days, and Mike too. You see that wonderful intro that we're going to get into, where you see the three of their days after everything that happened. And Jimmy's the only one that seems like he's having a great day. You know, like, you started out on Jimmy, and I was watching that and I was like, oh, Jimmy's having a great day. Is this a different time? Are they showing us what just happened? Or is this a different time when Jimmy's in a better place? Because Jimmy didn't seem to be, he was bothered, but he's got that dangerous compartmentalizing skill that we've talked about before, that not a lot of people have. That thing he can just turn on sometimes and go full whatever you can say he is. But that was frightening. It was really frightening. And Kim, she turned it on at one point in time in the episode. And when she turned it on, she was equally as frightening as Jimmy. But the weight of it didn't allow her to continue with it. And I know, but watching Jimmy go completely crazy, trying to save the relationship, again, that's something that I can relate to, and I know some people can relate to, being in that moment when you see it falling apart in front of you. Jimmy knew. He knew this whole time. I mean, obviously, forever he probably thought, he wasn't good enough for her, but just because of the way Jimmy's mind works. But I'm saying in this immediate situation, he knew deep inside that they just couldn't come back from this. And just the way he's processing it with please don't leave, I'm happy, come on, we will get a pizza, it's gonna be okay. That was horrifying to watch, because it was true to life, and that's what this show has done exceptionally well, mixing this pulp energy that its parent show had to give you those episodes like the last two episodes, and when they come strong, and then giving us this like real human drama. I think a lot of us wondered what would be the final outcome for the Kim situation. And I know some people had predictions of her death or, jail. She did lose her law license. I don't know. Do we give the disbarred people their money? Is that a wash for the people on their money on the betting pools? But no, she wasn't disbarred. She's self-barred. She's self-disbarred. She gave it up. So it was more horrifying than a death, because if it was just another episode where we got another bang, bang, bang kind of thing, it's just redundant. This show doesn't go too much in one direction, whether it's comedy, whether it's this hardcore energy, like on edge entertainment that they give you, or the human drama stuff. It perfectly marries all three of those things. That's why this show is one of the greatest shows of all time. It's not because it does one individual thing excellent. It's because it does multiple things at the same time, all excellent at the perfect amount of what they should do. Of course, as well as the perfect amount of little fan servicey stuff for the Breaking Bad universe as well. The way they expand it, the way they show that, the way now we're going to see so many different scenes and perspectives of the Breaking Bad timeline, because we have 4 episodes left and we already have done our time travel. This is kind of when I thought it was going to happen. Not meaning to do that, but I put out a video last week that saying that this was going to be at the end of this episode, we're going to get into our time jump in episode 10, and it's happening. And I think moving forward, I wonder if we'll go back. I said that earlier. I wonder if we'll flash forward, flash backwards. But no, I think we're going to live in this timeline for a while. And maybe, I mean, I do think the question I asked in the chat right now, I think most people are probably going to say yes to that, because I do think we see her in the final episodes. But I'm going to stick to what I said before. I don't think we see Kim again until the final episode. I think we're busy with some other stuff for the next couple of episodes. I think we're going to get into the Gene and the Breaking Bad stuff and finishing that part of the story off now that they feel like the Better Call Saul timeline really ends with the Kim. I mean, we ended with the Howard stuff. People would want, this case, what if they get caught for Howard's suicide murder thing? They were there. There's evidence, XYZ. Mike is good at what he does. There's not going to be any fallout for that. I believe every word Mike said. And we got the Gus and the Mike stuff and placing them in the place that they need to be leading into Breaking Bad. We get that scene with Gus trying to see if he can celebrate. I think that was what that was about, seeing if he can actually live life in some ways and socialize and see him in a different sort of environment, and then realizing at a certain point in time, he thought about his partner and realized that he has bigger things to do, and he doesn't have the luxury to relax ever. No half measures. And Mike is on his mission. The one thing that with the two of them, I hope we do check in with them during the Breaking Bad timeline, and there's no reason why we shouldn't, because now we can see if maybe Mike and Gus hear about Heisenberg before Heisenberg actually met them. We can see some more insights on them. So I don't think we're done with Mike and Gus. I think we're going to see Mike and Gus in the future timeline as well, because they exist and they're doing things that we don't know what happens to them at that point either, because we don't catch up with them till later in the Breaking Bad story. So yeah, I do think we know how many scenes we're going to get with Jesse and Walt. I don't think they're going to be a big part of the story. This is still going to be Jimmy Saul's story. But I am excited to be in this different timeline. I know some people might have wanted to spend some more time in that other thing, and I wouldn't object to going back there. But this is very exciting for me, because this is something I was hoping from episode 1 that we would get here, and we're here right now, and it's very goddamn exciting. I'm going to get to you guys in the live chat. I see we have some voicemails and calls. Thank you guys for joining us tonight. Please hit that like button. Please hit that subscribe button. We're going to be here after every single episode, and also I probably will drop a midweek video on Better Call Saul as well, if not back every week right after the episode airs. Can't wait to see how they conclude this thing. We're down to 4 episodes, but we're going to break down this entire episode, listen to some audio from it, watch some clips. And holy shit, we got our first super chat donation of the night from Trish. Thank you, Trish. Really disappointed how they let Kim walk away with no consequences. Unrealistic for Gus to not want her dead. Unrealistic for Susie to not catch her ethical violations. If she was forced to run, she'd pay the price. We might catch up with that later. Just because we've moved forward doesn't mean we can't figure out that Kim might face some consequences. I think the important thing for Kim is the consequences were within. And I know you might say, Trish, that's a cop-out, but that's going to punish her more than anything else did. The fact that she actually got away with it. the fact that Mike is so good at what he does that there will be no consequences because there's no legit way to trace it back to him. But it's Gus wanting her dead. I think we do see that scene where he talks to Mike and says, what about the lawyers? And Mike says you can trust them, yada, yada, yada. I don't think Gus really blames them for trying to, like pulling a gun on him. I don't see Gus needing to get Saul and Kim killed in that situation. I did for a moment think they might go in that direction, or with Nacho's dad, as we catch up with Nacho's dad in this episode too. But let me get a little bit into the live chat. Mitchell says his license plate said 2005, which is 1 year later. Did it say 2005? I missed that, Mitchell. So maybe we're not in Breaking Bad timeline. Maybe we're moving slower through the time, and we're a year later at this point. He did go pretty bald in that year, but very possibly. Okay, the license plate said November 2005. So I'm getting carried away with the future timeline, but just the fact that we've moved forward shows that we will be moving forward in time. So we're not as far. Maybe I misread the license plate after we watched November 2000. So we get a lot of stuff. Can't wait to see Tuco. I hope Tuco does show up. Lalo Salamanca, my uncle brought me my first gun. We hope we hope we see you again someday in the sun, Lalo Salamanca. I know it was about a 2-year jump. Better Call Saul happens from 2004 to 2006. It took about 2 years for the Sandpiper case to be settled. Class action lawsuits took about 2 to 5 years to see. Ding, 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 Steve Pop. 3 lawyers that all know each other, all of a sudden dead within days of each other, and one is connected to the cartel would raise a lot of suspicion. Gus wouldn't make that move. It would be too much at that point for Gus to make. I agree. He needs to lay low for a while, build his lab. He just got more power, got a promotion essentially. The hooker at the end looked like Kim. Green smoothie party. When I was writing out my notes for the episode at that part, I wrote, is that Kim in the future? Then I wrote, is that Kim's mom? And then I wrote, is that Wendy the prostitute? Oh no, it's just another or something. It's just a random girl. So I kind of went through the same mindset as well. I was hoping young Nacho flashback for the bar scene was Gus trying to adjust back to normal life again. He definitely had a crush on the waiter, though. Absolutely. We won't see Kim until the Gene timeline. I agree with that, Jack. I don't think we're going to see Kim until episode 13, maybe 12 into 13, towards the end of 12. But I definitely think we will see her again. I think the wine guy used to be on Wings back in the 90s. Oh, was he one of the Wings guys, Toe Cutter? And welcome back, Toe Cutter, this week. Beth4516. Why did Mike feel compelled to visit Nacho's dad? I think because he respected Nacho in a way, the way he went out, in a sense wanted to stop his dad from looking for him too much, too, and not raise too many flags in that situation. So I think he wanted to just close that book. And it was a good scene. I felt bad for Nacho's dad, and I like that Mike is not being able to get away with it in a sense and feel comfortable doing these situations. Lewis Barry says preferred last week's episode, Jimmy and Kim, but good episode. Jimmy and Kim were lit. Thanks so much for that super chat donation. Let me toast to you, my friend. Thank you so much for the super chats. They mean so much. Cannot tell you guys enough. And to you too, Trish. Oh my goodness, I'm already buzzed. But I think he just needed to honor Nacho in a sense, to let his dad know that he went out and wasn't as bad of a person as he might think. In Mike's mind, he wanted his dad to know he was one of the good ones, even though what the fuck does that even mean? The hooker at it did look like Kim a bit. Tuco died, second episode of the second season of Breaking Bad, so the timeline is tight. Whether we're going to see Tuco. We won't see Kim until the Gene timeline. I want a Jesse prequel series. Yeah, bitch. I was hoping young Nacho. Watch it. Could Kim have been the one searching for Gene? Ruckus, my good buddy Tony has a theory out there that I very much subscribe to, that Jeff, the cab guy, might be connected to Kim looking for Jimmy. For some reason, the way they ended things in this episode, I less think it's for a bad reason, and now I think it's more trying to find him for a positive reason, to reconnect with him, save him a little bit, maybe possibly. But yes, I do think there might be some connection with that. The next episode is called Nippy. It breaks the convention of the this and that thing because Jimmy's alone now, so it's only one word. So they broke the two of them together. I don't know if that's the only reason, but the next episode is called Nippy. And Kim is a lion sack. Anyone who thought Jimmy was worse than her saw the truth tonight, says Trish. A Raggy Monster says Bob Odenkirk looks older than Hector this season. Nacho's dad looks a little bit like Cheech Martin. Gotta rewatch. Gus did like that waiter. They did have chemistry. Bob Odenkirk had a heart attack. This episode, it was the scene he first came to New Pop and he confronted Kim about quitting. But great episode. And I know some people, we're coming off two of the greatest episodes of the series. But I do feel like this episode was a good bookend to those back episodes. But it's hard. I mean, we're in the eye of the storm here right now with this final episodes, and we're judging. It's hard not to look, each episode versus each episode, but the whole package together, fitting together when we can completely binge watch this all together in one big burst. Everything fits together perfectly. Waiting week to week makes you crazy a little bit, or makes me crazy a little bit. But this was for me anyways, an amazing episode of television that you needed after the last two episodes to break everything down. What happened to Carol Burnett? Is she in the last episodes? Less episodes than we thought. I'm guessing now, yeah. I would assume she shows up in the next episode. I don't want to spoil anything here, but if you look at the episode description for the next episode, it's a hint that a new character may arrive. So it looks like it's possibly the next episode. Another super chat, Hope Show's Mike, Lalo, Hank, and Gomez. That'd be a great show. I love so many characters and so many arcs in this universe. It's amazing. Let's get to the voicemail line. Let's open the calls up. First of all, let's talk to this person right here. And who is this? This is from area code 435. Oh, sorry.
Gustavo Fring from the popular food chain, Los Pollos Hermanos.
Whoa,
Hello, it is me, Gustavo Fring from the popular food chain, Los Pollos Hermanos. Now, you might think I am dead. I am not. Anyways, I hope you enjoy the curly fries. Goodbye.
Thank you for the curly fries. And so you're not. You're just, your face is off. Your face has come off. You're just going to be Two-Face. You're like a Batman villain now. So you're still alive. You're still making stuff. It's cool. Okay, let's see. Let's go. Let's see what this caller has to say.
Hey, it's Mike Ermintrout.
Mike!
Don't worry, I've been spending the last 4 years getting a facelift. Just in time, right? Wink, wink.
Looking great, Mike. Looking great. I love the theory about how Huel ate Kim, too. That's how he looks different in Breaking Bad. Toast to everyone, all of our super chatters. Thank you so much. Howard's wife, Ultimate Storm, and thank you so much to Beth as well for the super chat donation. If anyone else, Louis Berry, sorry if I missed you right there. You guys are amazing. They're never expected, but more welcome than you know. Howard's wife was totally onto them. And then they flipped it around. Kim, that was when Kim snapped into her she snapped into a Slim Jim. She turned on her superpower in that moment, her evil superpower. And that's, I think, one of the moments, I think she realized it a lot of times, but I think in that moment she realized that when she's with Jimmy, and again, maybe it's a little bit of a cop-out on her part, but whatever. I do believe this in a certain extent. When you're around certain people, magic happens, whether it's good magic or bad magic. Something sounded like it just fell here. Whether it's good magic or bad magic, it's you hang out with some people, there's something there. And the two of them have something. But I think in that moment, she snapped into it, and you could see the look on Jimmy's face in that scene, like, there she is. There's my girl, And, I think she realized she was horrifying herself how easily she could manipulate Howard's wife into thinking that, he was a fucking cokehead. It's horrible. They can't help themselves. She's right. They're poison. Excellent. Exactly, Tom. Son, why did the judge refer to Kim as Miss Wexler? Shouldn't it be Miss Goodman? I wonder that. Did Kim actually change her name? She's still referred to as Wexler. Mike's the only one that I've heard call her Miss, or he calls her Miss Goodman. Did you say Miss Goodman before? Ooh. And I did read an article that it was 6'9". We have no phone. We have phone calls to get to as well. Howard's wife kills Kim. Thoughts? Possibly she could have hired the private investigator to hunt down both of them in this situation. Let's take this from area code 914.
JT from NYC.
JT.
Another great episode. Started off very, very slow. Didn't know where it was going. Have a question before I get into everything else. The wine that the guy was telling him about, the 1978, said he bought a bottle. Gus said he bought a bottle. He said he was saving it for a special occasion. I wanted to know if you or anybody out there watching knows if that was one of the wines he drank, either when he was having dinner with Walt in season 3.
Oh, yes. Oh, my goodness, dude. Great. I'm going to play the rest of your message for sure. But you totally might. I don't know if it's the same. We need, like, those Easter egg hunter ones. He opens a very special bottle of wine at one of those dinners. Could that have been the bottle of wine to impress? That would be amazing eyes. Beth in the live chat, who, again, thank you so much for the super chat. Yes, I am back here every week right after the episode airs. Hope you are able to join us every week right after it happens to call on in, leave voicemail, jump in the chat, babble about this with everybody. Please, I hope you can come back. But yes, I'll be here every week for the remainder of the season and some other shows along the way. I've actually been doing this, lucky to be doing this since season 1. I got lucky with the show because, again, I won't get into this too much, but I've been doing this. The very first show I did on this channel was Breaking Bad, way back when, the final season of Breaking Bad. So that's why this is a very special season for me to talk about, just because it's full circle here to finally do the conclusion of another great series by these guys. But Beth, it's awesome to have you. Thank you so much. And I'm going to play the rest of JT's message. Sorry, JT.
Or with Jesse in season 4. And additionally, that was a nice kind of tie-in with the two actors. But as you can see, that we're now into the Breaking Bad timeline, and this is the actual day of their introduction, because he mentions about his cases, the public masturbation, which he confused when he first met Badger. If you play back that episode of Breaking Bad, I'm sure he's probably wearing the same suit and everything. It's the same exact day that he met Walt and Jesse, that we sort of say fast forwarded into. All right, thanks.
Awesome stuff. I'm sorry if I disconnected there for a while. My computer told me I disconnected for a bit, but yeah, I think we're probably going to get our Jesse and Walt stuff, or we know that there's 3 scenes. We know there's 3 scenes of them. We don't know when the 3 scenes are, or if the 3 scenes are in the same episode. They very easily could be spread out. We know that there's one with Walt, one with Jesse, and one with the 2 of them together. So I'm not sure when exactly that's going to happen. And good point by the caller. Someone says in the live chat, I'm less bothered by it. And Toe Cutter, that's a bit, I know Toe Cutter was actually, someone in the live chat said that they weren't feeling this episode, bad pacing or whatever. Toe Cutter in the live chat, I'm glad you're back this week, wasn't feeling last week. And that's what's awesome about being able to do this and hear so many people's perspective. I said this last week as well. We're not operating in an echo chamber here. If you weren't feeling this, share your thoughts in the live chat too. I want to hear it. I'll read your comment. I won't overlook it. People that love it, we could have a fun discussion about it either way. I particularly loved, but I fanboy over this series in a lot of ways too. But I can be, obviously can be critical. But I thought this was the perfect follow-up episode of the last 2 episodes. I can understand the pacing at the beginning of the episode was, I think intentionally confusing and slow to show what was happening to our characters after the big event and how crazy and horrible it feels when you're in a big event like that, something traumatic happens, and how slow everything can feel. And then we see the victories of the other characters and Gus and Mike sort of winding down and trying to cross all their T's to make sure everything is happening. We needed to do a lot of busy work and business stuff in this episode. But let me make sure I don't miss these super chats. Beth, thank you again for an amazing super chat. Let me continue. We get Vicky's Kid Pastor. Thank you so much for that super chat. To you as well. Melissa says, I'm so disappointed with this episode simply because there are way bigger things to spend our final time on than Gus at a bar, but I love you, Phil. I love you too, Melissa. I think that's why, and thank you so much for the super chat, and I appreciate your perspective. I think that's why they were doing it tonight. I think they wanted to get all of the business that they needed to get done in this episode done. And on top of that, see the final outcome of all the traumatic events that just happened. You needed an episode to breathe in everything we just went through and see the effect that it had on our two main characters. And with Kim, even though she realized she liked it so much, she knew she needed to get away from the situation because she scared herself. Jimmy just kept going on, business as usual. And it drove a stake between them. We needed to see the fallout of the Lalo situation and what was going to happen when Hector... Are people upset that we didn't see the scene with the twins having to translate Hector typing out word letter for letter? I want to see that on the cutting room floor of the episode. I want to see the twins pop of that. But I hear you, especially the ride we're on when we're waiting week to week through commercials and everything. And it's tough. It's tough to you want so much on a week-to-week basis with the satisfying episodes, but we needed to close off this arc to start this next arc that we're on. And I think this is going to be a really fun one, seeing all these things from different perspectives and seeing where this story completely ends and seeing how Kim hooks back into this and seeing some new stuff in this future that isn't the prequel, that's sequel type stuff. And ding, ding, dingity, ding, 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 ding. Can you explain a little bit further how Gus outsmarted the cartel? Okay, I will get into that because we're going to break down scene by scene in the episode, but just a little bit about that. I think Gus said in a situation, it wasn't even that Gus outsmarted them. He took advantage of the situation that Lalo outsmarted himself by having such a convincing decoy with dental records. Gus just rode that wave. He knew the cartel thought that Lalo was dead. The only person that Lalo told that he was alive was Hector, who obviously just can only ding, 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 and could be looked at as someone that doesn't think quite clearly, that could make something up just to fuck over Gus in any situation, let alone when he's theoretically, in the way that Eladio would look at it, compromised mentally in some ways. So Gus took advantage of that by the fact that whatever he did to Lalo in real time doesn't matter. There's no real evidence that Lalo was ever back and alive and that Gus did anything essentially really to him and that he died in that explosion in the house. So, which Gus has plausible deniability for any connection to that. So he's in a situation where he can be made, it's almost like the cable guy thing, where he's making it look like the other guy's doing the fucked up stuff, like Hector's all fucked up. And he's just smiling there by doing nothing. And Lalo was too prepared with his decoy and too quiet on the DL there for anyone else to have seen him. So there's no evidence. So Eladio has no cause but to agree with him and go on his side. I think so. At least that's my thing. Mark A. Houston, great to see you in the live chat, buddy. Great to see all of our friends. Did I miss any? We got Nightbot in the live chat. Holy shit, Nightbot, shut up. Maud Mary too easy. Maud Mary, you can do whatever you want. Don't listen to Nightbot. I didn't even know I had a Nightbot. Shut up, Nightbot. Don't yell at Maud Mary. Ding away, Maud Mary. Let justice be done. I hope we see more Gus too, and I do think we are, Louis Berry. I think we will see more Gus and Mike moving forward. There's no reason why we shouldn't. Hey, let's clear the decks with some voicemails, and the voicemail line will be open all night, 781-990-8509. Again, that's 781-990-8509. Get your thoughts in about this episode. If you haven't already, hit that like button. Help this get out to even more people. Share it away and keep the discussion going all night long. I'll be on here for a long time breaking down this whole episode. We're going to get into scene by scene, talking about what happened here. But before we get there, let's listen to some of your thoughts, because I want to keep your voices in this discussion all evening. Area code 336.
Hey, Phil, this is Jules.
Welcome.
This was another insane episode, and there's so much to talk about, but I just want to get straight into that transition from into Saul Goodman. That was so shocking to me, and I loved it so much. Immediately I was struck by it, because Better Call Saul has always been such a slow show, even from the very beginning, and it's great, and it's part of the style and everything, but it's always been in, maybe they'll play with the timelines and fast forwards or some other kind of creative way, but I could be wrong, but I've never seen them just jump straight to it like that, and I just love emotionally that there's nothing left to show. It's just straight into the new life. And this sequence to me also struck me so much because, I love Saul as a character, not a good person, right? But plenty of fun to watch. Well, one of the most fun characters to watch. And so, it was giddy and so, I was so psyched to see him in his element as this character, and yet at the same time, there's just this looming feeling, this great loneliness. Yeah. It's not like anything I've ever seen before. It's like you really see that he doesn't have anyone. So it's one of the most weirdly amusing, depressing sequences, amusingly depressing sequences of anything I've ever seen. And yeah, I don't know. It was great.
Absolutely. Great call. And that's what this show does great. It was like depressing and funny at the same time. And that's what this show balances. And the intro was the way they do transitions from scenes to scenes. That one moment in the beginning transition when they did from blood to ketchup to Bob eating some French fries and stuff. Just sick. And the transitions to Saul Goodman scene in bed, it just all humanity draining out of him. And the moment Kim left him, that he has nothing to do but turn into this one-dimensional person. I pause to say person because he's not really a person anymore. He's a caricature of what he used to be. And wow, I agree. I thought that transition was done really well. I was wondering how they would do it. Some would think that they would do it at the beginning of an episode or something, but I like how they did it towards the end of the episode with just an easy fade and fade up. Everyone, watching generally would know what was going on in that moment. And the French fries were ultimately, it's true discount. Kalex says, I'm honestly happy that Kim left. Those transitions are classic comedic transitions, and that's what this show continues to do in an excellent way, not just be a great drama. Because of the people that they have on this show, they can't help but have amazing comedic moments too. Even Jonathan Banks is pretty freaking hilarious. Let's see what this caller says. Sorry. Let's see. This is from 870.
Hey, I just wanted to say, I enjoyed this episode of Better Call Saul. I would say not as good as the last couple. I did think the last couple, especially kind of execution, are still the best episodes the show has ever done. But they were good. I think a good episode, really good. Loved everything with Jim and Kim. That part of the episode, that scenes were the best scenes. I thought the final scene between Jamie and Kim were probably one of the best of the entire show. I saw Bob and Cook, and they actually paid Kim. Absolutely did some of the best acting I've seen from the show. Well done episode. a little bit so, but I do kind of agree with you. I think they needed a little bit of a show episode, considering how intense the last couple were. But I do think we're going to get Gene. Next episode, we're going to start getting some more of Gene, the Gene scenes. And I think the episode after, we're going to get Walter and Jesse.
Yeah, and I agree with that, Colin. I'll play the rest of your message as well in a second. I do think we're going to get... The question is, how much... There's 4 episodes. There's a lot of time. Suddenly... It goes from how are they going to wrap this up in 4 episodes? There's so much to do. To there's 4 episodes left. What else are they going to do? Where else are we going to go from here? And I know seeing him set up all these dummy companies, we probably are going to get some sort of information about what happened in this couple of year time gap that we went through. The next episode, I'll get into that at a later date about what the preview for the next episode kind of amps up. We're going to see some fallout for court cases. Carol Burnett still needs to show up, and I think that the speculation that she plays the judge is becoming more and more, I wouldn't say obvious, probable as we go. I don't think she's good. I think the Howard's mom thing is probably out the window at this point. Gus left because he realized he can't bring Guy into his life, not because of Max. I think he did think about. Gus left because he realized he can't have a happy life. He's in too much of a fucked up situation where everything's always on edge. He doesn't have the luxury to relax. Holy shit, another super chat donation. Seriously, I cannot thank all of you enough. These mean so much to me. Okay, call me a jerk, but I don't like that we just jumped into... You're a jerk. No, you're not a jerk. You're not a jerk. I'm not going to call you a jerk, Soft Patch. You tricked me. You Ron Burgundied me. I read it. I have to say it. Okay, call me a jerk, but I don't like that we just jumped into Saul being Saul. It's like all these seasons and episodes were for nothing because we didn't get that key moment of him turning into Saul. I think you're not a jerk. I interpreted it a little different in the sense that we did get that moment. That moment was Kim leaving. Kim was the last bastion of humanity that he had because someone that he could connect with on his level and feel like he could be his Slippin' Jimmy self and still have a loving human relationship with somebody. And in that moment when she walked out, that all the remaining bits of humanity that was inside of him drained out, and he realized he's truly alone and all he has is this persona. His psycho asshole brother wasn't anything for him. He doesn't have any other family or friends that he really cares about. And the one person that he thought accepted him for who he was told him that love is not enough. And to me, that was the moment that drove him. So we did get to see that moment. We just didn't see the moment where, you know, the transition of him putting on the uniform saying, fuck this, blah, 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 blah. But we might see that later. We might see more of a fallout of why he became there. But I think that's what this episode was about. In this whole arc anyways. And when Jimmy was begging for her not to leave, he wasn't just begging for his relationship. I think he was begging for his own humanity in that scene to me, because she was the last of that he had. Again, that's at least how I was interpreting the scene, but I totally see where you're coming from, that the time jump was quick. You know, it happened matter-of-factly. And I liked it, but I can't blame you for not loving that aspect of it. As I've said many times, we're not going to all agree on what they do here and whether we love everything that they do. I just think it's going to be a fun ride for everyone, even if it's not exactly the destination that you want to go. It's going to get you some forms of entertainment. It was the same way with Breaking Bad. People want certain things to happen. They think certain things are going to happen in certain directions, but it goes in other directions. But it's still satisfying. And I can hear you of wanting to see more of that, but they chose to go that in that moment, we shut off his life as Jimmy McGill and we wake up again and we see him in what has been built and remains from that. and maybe he'll come back. If Kim doesn't show up again, I will throw hands, Sister Kara's bitch. He has been turning into Saul this whole series, says Maud Mary. It wasn't ever going to be a precise moment. It was building up all along. Kim leaving him probably pushed him into the cold-hearted Saul that we love. And in our poll, we started off with like 90% yes that we would see Kim. We got the nose sneaking in right now. We got almost 500 votes in this poll right now, and the no's are creeping up as we're at 78%. So if you haven't voted, this will be up. My poll will be up all night. Oh, sorry, that was gross, but it will be. They aren't gonna have scenes from Breaking Bad. They will create new ones like El Camino. That's what I think so too, Chris. I think we're gonna see new perspectives, see him in between the scenes, see some reactions to moments that we see in Breaking Bad. I think even the Walt and Jesse scene that we see aren't gonna be refilms of Breaking Bad scenes. It's gonna be almost like the Godfather video game, if anyone ever played that, where you're a character that's right outside the scenes of the regular scenes, and we're gonna see him in those moments. We only saw him a few moments in Breaking Bad. It seems like a lot, but in the 24-hour day of everything he's doing, we only saw him in a very small percentage of the time. So seeing him during Breaking Bad doesn't mean we're going to see Breaking Bad events. It means they'll be happening in the background of what's happening with Jimmy. And I think we're still going to be following Jimmy, and through all of this, it's just the time that we've moved into. I don't think Jesse and Gene meet. That would be hard for me to believe. I guess it's possible. I don't think Jesse leaves Alaska. And the only way is if the cops catch him somehow. But I'm not sure if that's going to happen. But thank you so much, everyone, for the super chats. I gotta take another drink for you guys. But Soft Batch, you're anything but a jerk. Keep the fun rolling, everybody. Bryan Cranston confirmed him and Jesse's part will be in the Better Call Saul style, not Breaking Bad. Let's listen to 786.
Hi, my name is Kevin, and I'm calling because I was wondering your thoughts on the Gus bar scene.
Yes.
What you think it means? Do you think it means that he's finally trying to come to terms with, okay, this whole Lalo deal is settled, I could try to move on, but then at the end he kind of, he gets into his old Gus persona again, and it's all business again for him. So just wondering your thoughts. Thanks.
I would love to add my thoughts to what you just said, but you said it perfectly. That's exactly what I think was happening in that moment. I think he was realizing for a second, he was like, I can relax and live a real life, or not live a life. I can have a celebration moment, a relaxing moment, moment. And then very soon he realized that's completely impossible. Completely impossible. So yes, I do think that's what was happening as well. I love this episode. I can't fall asleep now. Birds fan. That's how I feel about this entire season. It just has me on such edge. I don't want to miss our text messengers either. And you can text in if I'm missing your call, if I'm missing your chat in the live chat because it moves by quick. Keep it moving by quick. That just helps this video get to more people. 914. But you can text on in at 781-990-8509. Again, that's 781-990-8509, as well as call that and leave a voicemail. If Kim is gone, then who is Gene going to be calling in November? Kim. I think we do see Kim again. It's hard for me too. And then, did you notice that no one other than Kim called him Jimmy the whole episode? Coakley called him Jimmy and then corrected himself and said Saul. Therefore, once Kimmy left, so did Jimmy. Oh, I like that. I like that, texter. Area code 813. I feel like this next episode will begin with Mr. White walking into his office for the first time. Mr. Mayhew, is it? Because if you look at his waiting room, it's the same clients as the first episode that Saul was in. I think that would be perfect. Area code 786. I doubt this is the last time we see Kim. She has to come back for the Gene timeline. What do you think? I absolutely think we'll see Kim again. It would be hard for me to imagine that we don't. I think we see her in the final episodes or the final 2 episodes. Area code 803. Phil, I'm not able to live chat for some reason. 803. I don't know what's going on, but I hope you can get back into the live motherfucking chat real soon because they miss you in there. But I will translate your points via your text messages. Phil, I'm unable to chat for some reason, but 2 quick questions. 1, did I miss a shot of Jimmy sitting alone in the condo with without it, that's what made the jump so stark. Though we'd see, I thought we'd see the Statue of Liberty getting blown up. I thought we'd see him getting the Statue of Liberty from the Kettlemans. And yeah, I don't think we saw. Did we see the image that we saw in the picture that they released of him just sitting in the apartment alone? So you just think the transition maybe was a little bit abrupt. You would have liked it maybe edited a little bit differently. Very fair criticism. There is a possibility we'll see Kim again. Possibility in the Gene timeline, says Gain Star. Jakara's pitch. It would probably cost $1 million with all the furnishing and custom designs. I hope the season ends with Maurice stealing a Cinnabon and wearing purple, and then going to see Walt Jr. and having breakfast, Mitchell. I'm with you, Mitchell. Sounds like Gene got a job at Nordstrom's. I just couldn't believe it the way Kimmy left. Zip went the bags. Oh yeah, she packed the bags. You know, it's not like on The Sopranos where Finn puts everything in a bag and it's his process. No, she was ready to go. And she didn't want Jimmy to know. She didn't want Jimmy in that room to see that she was packing. She wanted him gone, and to be gone where she was leaving like her mom. The suit Saul is wearing is the end of the episode is different than the one first time he met Walt. I think he's wearing a gray shirt the first time he meets Walt. I want to say I went back and watched that episode not too long ago just to try to see what he was wearing, but I could be wrong. It was a cop-out. It was actually Lazy Riding, says Trish. Kim gets a craving for a Cinnabon roll and rolls into Jimmy at the mall. I think that's probably possible. Brian Dodd. I sure fucking hope so, Brian Dodd. Back in 2005, his manager probably called $350,000. When did... I don't remember that. There was a moment where I think people are referring to the Francesca, like call somebody, where he tells her to make sure he calls somebody. I think that's what a lot of people are referring to with the phone call. If it's something different, please let me know in the live chat. I could be wrong. But everyone, it's about that time. We've waited long enough. Let's get into this. It's time for a recap. Time for the recap of this episode. We're going to go through scene by scene, everything that happens. Did I scare the dog? Sorry, dog. Shouldn't it make me tired, Grimes? It's time for a little recap. Ah! So we open up in this episode with an awesome little montage. We're going to get into scene by scene in this episode. We also have, for those of you that might want to hear some of the scenes, we're going to listen to this episode, and I might show a couple clips here and there. Show the dog. Bean, come here. Bean, come here. I am doing I'm house sitting for a dog or watching a dog. Whoa, that was really I'll try to get a shot of Bean in a second here if she can get into the shot. Anyways, I predicted this montage at the beginning, so we start off in this episode in a really interesting montagey kind of way. We open up on some saddish music as we pan out and we see a sign for Saul Goodman and Associates going up. Francesca and Saul are watching as he opens the door and deals. We see Kim on her day. We see Mike and his man cleaning up the scene, and we see Kim getting her coffee at the vending machine, and they pick a really sad on the nose kind of song, but it works for the scene. And of course, sorry, I'm looking at my replay right here. Things that happened last week. What happened last time?
In a few days, Howard, whose car will be found several states.
Yes, it will, Mike.
Cocaine in Pull string. That's the story.
I was trying to get the volume right there. Anyways, I'm taking care of 2 cats right now. I'm in hell. This episode broke my heart, says Little Tabby. And also, as I said, our voicemail line will be on all night. So make sure you can keep leaving your voicemails and texts all evening, even though our episode is starting. As we open up with this song and copyright... No. And we go back and forth with a really great montage. Kim in court doing her thing. Mike feeling bad, but all cleaned up with a new fridge. I feel like, I don't know if this is going to be our last montage, but I feel like Better Call Saul is the king of the montage kind of show. And I feel like we needed at least one last really great big one as we start our episode out. And Saul, if you look at him, he's right into this. Look at the look on his face. Does that look like a guy that just went through murder? No, he's into it. And like at the beginning here, I'm like, oh, everything's good. Everything's happy. Everything's wonderful. Look, Worf is even approving of everything. But Kim, no. Everything's a struggle for Kim right now. She cannot handle this. Oh, the journey, yeah, any way you want it. A nod to the Sopranos song that was in the jukebox on Tony's table. Your thoughts on the episode 10 teaser? I'll get into the episode 10 teaser a little bit later. I might even do a whole video breakdown on the teaser, but for now, I think it's intense. I think it shows that we're going to see a Gene scene in the next episode, and I don't know what the hell he's talking about in that scene. I have to listen back to it. We'll listen back at the end of this episode when we get to that point on this video. But yeah, I'm not sure what the hell's going on there. It's pretty intense, though. It was pretty intense. I know the Soprano song is "Don't Stop Believin'," but they did pick a Journey song. Don't stop. I just got shut off the podcast. Don't stop believin'. Sorry, it's the Breaking Bad timeline. Do they keep the timeline or go back and forth? I think they'll go forward. I don't know if they're going to go back, Dean. I hope they... I wouldn't mind them going back or at least hearing more about the passage of time. And let me give you that toast to the super chat. I realize what I haven't been doing is spinning the wheel. It's too far away. Let me bring my wheel closer so I can spin it for your super chats. And we can get back to the fun here of spinning the wheel. Let me spin the wheel. I owe some for super chats. Whoa, Goofy went flying. Oh, sorry, doggy. Sorry, Bean. And what I really love about this montage is the way it stops. Everyone drink. Whatever you're holding, wherever you are right now, pick up whatever drink you have. Take a drink for this awesome show. Whether you felt this episode 100% tonight, or you didn't, or you felt the last 2 episodes, either way, you're on an awesome ride for a TV show. And let's toast all the super chatters right now, because the wheel landed on everyone drinks. I fix it that way now. Toast it up. Was the date correct? License plate saying November 2005, or was the handicap sign saying 2008? I'd have to rewatch that specifically to see it. We can look on the video when we get to that point in the recap. But what I love about this montage, again, as I said, is the way it just cuts out at the end when the music's just over. And then it cuts out to just absolute silence and intensification of what's going on. Are you scared of the wheel, Bean? Yeah, Bean, don't be scared. Don't be scared. One of my favorite Better Call Saul episodes, hands down, says Sir Torchington. Great name, Sir Torchington. Dog, come on. Sorry, the dog is... Your dog, you're messing around with the power. You're dancing around my power cords. I don't want you to accidentally shut us off here. Don't be afraid of the wheel. Don't be afraid of the wheel. The wheel is magic. Sorry, everyone. I'm simultaneously dealing with a puppy right here. Where are you? Right here. Right here. Being like, well, I'm worried about Saul Goodman. I'm worried about Saul. Come on, Phil. Let's do this. Let's do this show. I want to be your co-host. What's up, buddy? So yeah, sorry. I got a little. Take a shot. Oh my goodness. Kevin says take a shot. You guys get me drunk now. Oh shit. Let me pour this right here. I gotta pour a fresh one for you. And I'd love to see one of those, shout out to the YouTube channel Death Battle. I'd love to see a Walter White, Tony Soprano Death Battle episode. That'd be great. Toast to you. Thank you so much for this super chat donation. Honestly, like I said, I cannot thank you guys enough. It's so much fun to be able to enjoy watching this amazing show and talking about it with so many awesome friends. Thank you guys. Toast it up. I thought it was interesting seeing Gus in an environment when he doesn't have to have his Gusness on. And I thought it was interesting seeing that and seeing how little he is able to actually be that person when he wants to be that person. So then after we cut out there, the music's over, we pause in the silence in the room, off to Mike burning the last of the evidence. And again, Mike's not happy. After this scene, we see Kim in bed, traumatized, and again, so much silence at the beginning of this episode. It was almost frightening how as he talks.
We'll wake up and brush our teeth and we'll go to work. And at some point, we'll suddenly realize that we haven't thought about it at all. None of it.
See, right from the beginning.
That's when we'll know.
See, right from the beginning, Saul, I mean, again, this is where the show deals with reality in some ways. Or it's reality porn. Maybe not killing someone, but this could be analogous for cheating or for some big event that you have in a relationship that you just can't get past. And it just happens in their relationship. It's murder. It's a con that led to the murder of an okay douchebag, and her knowing that some cartel kingpin. No, not Lalo wasn't a kingpin. Second in command kind of situation, whatever you want to call Lalo, was still alive in this situation to be able to kill them. You know, it's just normal stuff in a relationship. Normal stuff. but it is intense.
We'll know we can forget.
Gus is just a small town girl. Wait, no, what did you say? Oh yeah, and then we get our beautiful intro of the series as we yeah, you know what I mean? Like reality porn, like giving you these real life situations that are emotional that you can kind of push your own life situations on and go, oh yeah, I was in that. Oh, that sucks. Oh, and then like some liquid like tears or vomits or you got to go to the bathroom comes out of you because you're so intensified from watching the episode. You know the type of thing. It happens. Oh, sorry. You know, it happens sometimes. Let me put this up for a second. Sorry, give me 1 second. Wrong. Oh, that's not the episode title. Better. Sorry, I had some hair in my eyes. So the license plate in 2005 seems way too early. I mean, it could be that the license plate that's a little later than 2005. That's just when he got the plate. But I'm sure we'll get a little bit more of a accurate approximation of what the timetable is once we get into the next episode. Nippy will give us a better. One thing for sure that we obviously fast forwarded in time closer to the Breaking Bad timeline when his office is already a moving environment, and we're going to get to those things eventually. And let's see. We got Jack Me Off with another super chat donation. Kim is just a small town girl living in a lonely world. She takes the midnight train to get the fuck away from Jimmy. Sorry, that was awful. I'll take another shot for that. For having to listen to me sing like an idiot. It's 2008. Saul probably has expired license plates as Jeffrey Townsend. Okay, so Kim is in bed traumatized. And she's silently back in the car driving. At first, I wasn't sure who it was. I like this camera shot that they're using a lot in this episode or in this season, this perspective shot thing, as we get it as Gus is labored a little bit as he heads to his meeting at Don Eladio's house. And this is an intense meeting. Everyone is here. The whole gang is here. It's a big setup as Gus is frisked. I'm gonna try to fast forward to this scene as we know exactly where we're at. And I think the important thing in this scene is obviously Don Eladio is hilarious. I love him on Ray Donovan too. He's a great actor. And it's Beavis. Beavis. Oh, Beavis. Okay. Hey, fire. I wish your name was Butthead because I do a better Beavis. And that's never been fully established. I've heard that before in even as far back to Breaking Bad when he was first introduced. I have the speculation that Gus might be gay has been out there. So it's not just out of nowhere. I don't think there's ever been confirmation because we haven't seen him in any situation. But I have heard that before, even doing Breaking Bad back in 2012. I definitely remember people saying that. So that has been a thing, but it's never been confirmed or denied. Even in this episode, they leave it vague enough that you don't know, because you don't know if Gus really has a life enough to really make that decision. He could be gay, could be bi, could be straight, could be something else. Who knows? But the point is that he can't have the luxury to indulge in that. And I think that's what that scene was supposed to mean more than necessarily pinpointing that. But I have heard that before, to answer your super chat question. Davey. Very Frasier-like answer there. Yeah, Luke. I think you're on. I think after what happened to his partner in crime, I think part of him died that was able to enjoy life enough to have any sexual gratification. At least that. So I think in a sense he probably is in a way asexual, and because he can't allow himself to bring his guard down enough to be put in any situation like that. And I think, again, that's what the end of the episode with Gus at the bar was at least meant to me, was that he, even in a situation where he could make a friend or could connect with somebody on any level, he can't fucking do that because he's in the game. It's too much in the game. Maud Mary, thank you so much for the super chat donation. Why do we need to see Kim again for the story to work? Did you notice that the Saul is sporting the world's best lawyer cup? And I never get tired of Don Hector's getting humiliated. What do we think of getting a new crew for the lab? I think we are going to see a new crew for the... Oh, and I also don't want to miss Louis Berry's super chat. I want Robert De Niro as Ed. Rest in peace, Robert Forster. I think De Niro would do an excellent job in his Jackie Brown teammate in this situation. And thank you so much, both of you guys, for the super chats. Let me pour some drinks for that. The only reason I think that we need to see Kim again is because there's no other characters of equal importance for him to connect with at the end of the storyline to bring it back. So I think having Kim in the story again would be effective, but like everything, we don't necessarily need it. But my instinct is yes, we will see her. And I love listening to Don Hector get humiliated, which is about what we're about to listen to right here. And let's go over here to let's keep playing this. Let me keep playing this. 914 says, Lalo giveth, Lalo taketh away. Lalo is the reason why Saul has clients. Lalo is the reason why Kim left Jimmy. Lalo is the man. I heard the truth from his own lips. This is what it says. It was Fring who sent out the mercenaries, not the Peruvians. We kept Lalo a survival a secret. My nephew knew to take his revenge on the traitor, face to face. Instead, he disappeared. It's the chicken man's doing, not Colonel Sanders, the other one. Don Eladio, look into Gus Fring's eyes. You will see the truth. He's bluffing. Now he is our enemy, not our friend. He plots against us. I demand blood for blood. Again, I want to see a spin-off that's all about the twins having to translate for him. I think that would be fucking hilarious. Ding, ding, ding. The ding, ding, ding. I think this scene is being taken as sexualized is a stretch. It was more pointing that Gus being able to have a normal conversation with someone unrelated to the business. And I also think it was giving the actor a opportunity to show a different shade of Gus in the sense of just seeing him in a normal situation. Just like we saw Kim in a different situation in the last episode. They really want to push their actors and scenes and give them different things to do. And if you're bringing Gus onto the show, you give him a lot of different dynamics. And I think it was interesting to see him in an environment. We've seen him talk to Lyle in a business way, you know, and been the chicken man in different environments like that. But this was him in a social environment, something I don't think I've ever seen, just him relaxed and happy. And I don't even think I've seen him play that kind of shade in a while, because most of the characters he plays, whether it's the Mandalorian, the boys, or this, he's, you know, a pretty evil dude. So it was good to kind of see him be human too. And I think that was what that scene was about too, when he sees an opportunity to be human and connect with another human on something that he loves with the wine and stuff. He can't do that. He has to get the hell out of there quickly. So let's get to some of the funniest line of the episode coming up here. The ding, 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 ding.
Entonces, Gustavo.
Phil, I don't want you to overlook that I'm going to call it Paddington just because the hotel that Kim and Jimmy's in is the same one from Breaking Bad that Walt looks as the family waving bye to daddy is symbolic of, ooh, that's a great pickup. This is why I love doing this show, because you get amazing people like Softbatch throwing in knowledge like that in stuff that I wouldn't have picked up without you.
No tengo respuesta. Gustavo, debes hablar.
I'm going to let this play a little bit as we get into the funny ding, ding, ding line here. I think Kim leaving and get to a couple of your comments in the live chat. We also have 2 more voicemails in the tank that we will get to in a few minutes here when I take a pause on the recap. But right now we'll get through a little bit of this episode. But if you have a call and a question, you want to get your voice in the call in the show, I will make sure I play it. 781-990-8509. Get your calls in. I think that this is from Skrill TV. I think that Kim leaving Jimmy was the first healthy decision she's made, but it wouldn't look super suspicious to resign from the barn and break up with Ginny so soon after Howard's death. Yes, 100%. But she's so far away at that point. She's out of sight, out of mind, and they don't really have anything. They can, subpoena her, but ultimately they don't have any hard evidence. Mike is good at what he does. I think that's the big elephant in the room of people that think that Kim and Jimmy might face consequences of this situation. Mike is very good at what he does. He had a black light for Pete's sake. No, but he's going to make sure that there's enough gray area in there for them not to work for Walter's friends, but that there's enough plausible deniability that they can never be prosecuted. So I don't think that there's really anything that can be done in this situation. I think we're supposed to accept that Mike cleaned this up, and they're accepting, even though they can't quite. There's a little bit of hinkiness, and the wife's not quite sure. But really, ultimately, everything's they can't really close this case, so it's just always going to hang up as a possible suicide. And got our voicemails coming in. Like I said, I will make sure I get those in. Jackie C, thank you so much for being one of the best mods in the business in the live chat right now, keeping things protective in case we get the porn bots. And Mike is good, but so is Hank. He found the lap. Very true. Very true. Mike and Gus, 15-minute long Gus flirting scene is the best scene in television history, says EJ. With the Danny Targaryen picture. I love it. So let's continue here. Don Eladio has to figure out this situation. This is where they get into the whole fact that the dental records were found. Everything points to Gus's story being true, and everything that Hector's saying is bullshit. And Don Eladio turns this around. We gotta watch this part too. This is awesome.
No hay discusión. Estoy dando mi cuarto. Y quién sabe, a lo mejor unas de las chicas te visitarán.
Sorry. Oh, Hector. Oh, poor Hector.
Buenas noches.
Good night, Hector.
Que descanses.
Sorry, that's one of our texts just coming in. And we get my favorite line of the night by Don Eladio here. When he's like, Gus, you can stay too. Here we go.
Que te quedes también, Gustavo, pero no quiero que me arruine el desayuno con el... Ay, ay, ay.
I wanna get that sound cue. The ding, the ding, the ding, 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 ding. Sorry, I gotta do that one again.
También, Gustavo, pero no quiero que me arruine el desayuno con el... Ay, ay, ay.
And then he gives Gus a raise. Oh my goodness, that was hilarious. That cracked me up. I love this actor. Like I said, he plays Javi on Ray Donovan. He's very fun. He eats up scenery in the best possible way, and it's fucking great. Who was else hoping that they find out what Gus Santiago's situation keeps referring to? We're going to probably find that out at some point. The skateboard scam twins. Thank you for the bell, Lalo. That was funny. Sorry, Frankie. It was that funny to me. It was that funny to me. But the cousins there, it's just a great scene and cracked me the hell up. So we go back at home to Gus, who just got his raise. Okay, I do want to make points for what Don Eladio says to Gus. Don Eladio sees it. We all know what happened. We might not all know what happens. Gus eventually, spoiler alert for Breaking Bad, Gus kills all these motherfuckers. He comes back and murders everyone in a big bloodbath at the pool. So Don Eladio saw this. Like he could call it. He could see it. He just couldn't pull the trigger. And he never thought Gus was going to be really had the balls to kind of go through with it. But he saw it. He saw the hate in his eyes. He knew he wanted to do this. And he calls him on it. He says, I see the hate in your eyes, but, careful with that. Careful with that axe, Eugene. But Don Eladio doesn't even care because he thinks he's so insulated. He definitely does. Ringy dingy 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 dingy. He was in Scarface. He's been in a lot. He was in the Oz. He's been in a lot of things. It's kind of shocking to see him because they definitely aged him up to play Hector. So like seeing him, he's been in so many things for so long, but he looks great. What are you? Oh, okay. You're chewing on your toy. So Gus, be careful. Don't be angry. So then we see a little flash of a really interesting foreshadow shot of Gus looking at the pool, knowing what eventually is going to happen in this situation. And then Gus goes home. He opens all the windows and he's smiling. It's happy day at Gus Fring Central. He goes to his basement. Mike is there, gives him some pills for pain. And Gus asks about the lawyer, and Mike compliments them. And Gus asks, and let's fast forward there so we can hear Mike explain everything that we want to hear. Mike will tell me Saul is a bad guy. Don Eladio should have.
The doc left these for
okay,
you
listen to this.
in the event that you made it back alive.
Tell me about the lawyers.
Well, they spent a full afternoon with the cops, played it as they were told, maybe a bit better. The APD consensus is he walked into the ocean and killed himself. Without a body, they can't close the file. But for all practical purposes, it's over.
When can construction resume?
We'd need to find a new engineer and a crew to do the work. That could take some time.
So I think this scene is going to mean it's going to take some time. It's rationalizing the fast forward for them, that there's nothing that's going to be happening in their story essentially of real importance until they can start to rebuild the lab. So I do think this is in a way confirmation, listening to the scene again, that we will see these two again in the fast forward timeline when the lab is complete. I think part of the fast forward is because part of these characters, nothing's going to be going on with them in this time period. They're just going to be getting the lab together and Gus setting up the empire that we know he has at the time of Breaking Bad.
Dark today.
And the look he gives Mike there. The one question I ask is, why is Mike so loyal to Gus in Breaking Bad? But I guess it's just years and years of working together that bond them together. I'd like to thank all of you guys that are listening right now. If you're listening, you haven't already, hit that like button. We got I think about 400 people watching right now. This is awesome. Hope you guys are all enjoying this silly fun. Please make sure, if you have something to say, call on in 781-990-8509. Again, that's 781-990-8509. Love to hear what you have to think. As we're going to listen to the Gus getting his wine scene.
Yes, sir.
A glass of.
So he gets this wine. His friend comes in.
It's so good to see you. It's been a while.
Yes, too long.
What are you drinking?
The Dressler and Vaughn.
How is it? Enough said. Brett, can you get that bottle from before? Now, normally, we would never have this open. But a couple hours ago, I smelled cigar smoke. And I look up, and this Cadillac cowboy is rolling in, puffing on a Monte Cristo, and I mean, we're talking the full deal, you know, Stetson and the ostrich skin boots and the belt buckle the size of Utah on his arm. There's
So we get this whole scene right here, and I don't want to pull too much off because we've already talked about this scene sort of at length, but he's trying to connect with someone. He's trying to have a real conversation, and then when he gets to a point where the conversation reaches a point where maybe he would hang out with this guy or just like actually get some friendship connection, because you think he's saying special occasion for this bottle, inviting this dude over and having like a drink with him or something, but they don't head in that direction with it. They head where he reaches a point where he can't. In my moment watching the episode, I thought, did he just decide he has to kill Kim? Like that was like my thought watching the episode in real time. That was the moment I thought that he had decided he needed to kind of keep this, couldn't leave these loose ends. But really what he was thinking was, it's seemingly that he can't have a real life. He can't have friendships. He can't add another wrinkle to an already pretty wrinkly situation. Yeah, exactly, DR. Gus is married to the game. It's all in the game.
love to hear about it when you have that occasion.
Married to the game. Great way of putting it.
Hold on, there's something I have to show you.
And if you haven't, like I said, please share this away and like this and help this get out to even more folks right now as we're getting into we're getting close to our West Coast airing times, I believe. So some of our West Coast friends might be jumping in the next little bit. Wine tasting scene is boring. I understand maybe thinking that some parts of this episode that just deal with this kind of situation could be boring. It does. I think part of it was, I know it's a cop-out for me to say this, but I think part of it was supposed to be boring. I think it was to show that he can't have that boring life that normal people can have. He has to keep moving, keep on edge constantly. And yes, the scene could have been a little shorter or whatever, but I think it was what it was. I think this was another example of them liking old TV, and someone said an actor from Wings, they're an actor that they like, oh, we like this guy, let's give him a little extended scene. And could it have been cut a little bit? Yeah, but we had an 80-minute episode, so we got a long. Scenes like this were probably a little longer than it would have been on a tighter edit for a regular length episode. Instead, they got a little extra time, so you got a little extra scenes hanging out here. So I can definitely hear you. And, oh, awesome. Sweet. Okay. So back in on Mike, we get great colors in his apartment with the color and the cinematography. I feel like it's redundant to just comment on how beautiful the cinematography is in this show, but it is and continues to be as good as it ever was and just looks so beautiful. And then the colors in this scene going into Mike's apartment looks really beautiful. Phil the Issues Guy, remember after all the happy endings, I think Kim and Jimmy reunite in the Gene timeline. Mike Torch, I tend to agree with you and think you're correct about that. Whether they have a happy ending or not, I do think they reconnect in some ways. Maybe Kim helping Jimmy out in a case to clear his name, to make him have a life again, maybe reuniting again and trying the thing again when they're both in a different place and have learned more with life. I don't know, but I do think for sure they will meet again. So we get back on Mike and we get some great color in his apartment and Mike's music, because Mike has like a themes. This is like one of the Mike themes. And he puts his big bag of weapons, and Lalo's not a problem anymore. Mike also has Nacho's dad's ID and in that space, and he sits down for a beer, and he looks at the play set of Kaylee, and I think in a moment he has like my granddaughter, his son. He's gonna want to know if Nacho died, and he's gonna want to have closure, like I would want to have closure with my. So he decides to go off to see Daddy Nacho, and we see Daddy Nacho sewing. We get a phone call from him. Mike calls him up and is like, hey, can I talk to you? Come outside. And he comes outside and he has a conversation with him. And it's a pretty intense scene between the two of them. And Mike explains to him that Nacho is not coming back.
I was there.
My
son made some mistakes.
I love the
He fell
crickets in the
with
background.
bad people. But he was never like them. Not really. He had a good heart. One more thing. You won't have to worry about the Salamancas. Their day is coming. There'll be justice.
Does Mike really think he's going to like this? Oh, yeah. This guy's totally the type of guy that's going to think justice.
I'm sorry, my Spanish judicial justice.
It's not justice.
What you talk about is not justice. What you talk of is...
He's about to quote a John Lennon song. What you talk about justice? Or a Beatles song. You say you want a revolution.
Revenge. It never ends.
Rick reviews and reacts. I'm slacking on doing my editing for a reaction video. The editing drained me. It reminded me of breaking up. I had breakup I had a few years ago. I was Jimmy. Dude, I am the same way, Rick. I was watching I've been hinting at that at the beginning of the episode too. The beginning half of this reminded me of breakups I've been through. One specifically, like begging, knowing in my head it was over, but being so happy with my way of life and realizing that some shit happened that you couldn't go back, and knowing in my head I couldn't go back on it, but in the moment begging for, wanting my way of life to continue and wanting like that dynamic that we had to continue, even though I knew in my heart it was truly over. I think so many of us were Jimmy in that moment, or Kim, and been in that moment where it's absolutely over. Pooh Doc says, Phil, why was there more time spent in intro filler scenes, which are good, but still filler comparatively? No time spent on Kim's goodbye, which seems somewhat rushed into the Saul future line. I think because they needed to give us closure on a lot of different storylines, so they kind of did us like a hot, quick flash through a bunch of different storylines. I feel like they gave the Jimmy and Kim scene enough time to peek it out at the end of the episode, but we had a bunch of other little things we need to stop in. We couldn't just have a Whitecaps Sopranos episode, because Jimmy and Kim aren't those types that are going to argue like that, like crazy. Like Kim says, she loves Jimmy. They both love each other. Even through all of this, nothing changed the love that they have for each other. And that's the fucked up part about it. And again, to what Rick was saying in the live chat, but sometimes breakups, you're like, you still love each other, but you're still breaking up. It's still ending because of, you're toxic with each other for some reason, or you've grown toxic with each other. And I do think all of that is part of it. I see that we do have 4 voicemails and 3 texts that we will be getting to for sure. And I do feel like I owe you guys something else from all the super chats that we had, not just some drinks. So let me play some. Okay, there's a little drum action for our super chatters. Thank you so much for being so generous tonight and giving the love. Very much appreciated. There's a little drum goofiness for you. So where are we? Oh, we're only one. Yeah, you think it's justice? It's not justice. Hey, puppy, lie down. Kim should be in that hole under with Lalo. Oh, thank you, Jennifer. Rock those fucking bongos. Thank you. I'm trying to play it slightly light because it is midnight here, but I have really awesome neighbors downstairs that are very forgiving. Okay, so play fallacies of the congas. I do have the congas back there. Wait, where are they? We're speaking of dogs. Dog. Hey, Bean, don't go anywhere. Bean, stay. Bean, stay. Maybe I'll play a little bit later again, a little bit more. Thank you, Jackie C, and thank you, Maud Mary. Very much appreciate that. I was trying to lay back a little bit because it's late. The effect sells it. Okay, so let's continue as we get back in where Kim and Jimmy are getting to the most fucked up part of the episode, where they're heading back into the lion's den of Hamlin and McGill, and the wake or the celebration, Howard's life celebration thing, wake, whatever it is. And let's listen to a little bit of this. Excuse me for 1 second. I gotta go check on the dog. Bean, come. Come here. Francis. And I love the silence that we get in this episode in certain scenes. I'm not doing it on purpose, but there is a sense of this silentness that exists in this world. And in, again, these real world situations, if you're really at one of these, it kind of feels like this sometimes. There's just all these conversations happening around, and you're just looking around. Granted, in a lot of situations, you're not the ones that murdered the guy. I love Beck.
I never saw it coming.
Oh, Bean, come.
Addiction is a disease. He was a good lawyer.
Bean.
And a hell of a guy. What else is there to say?
It still doesn't seem real. I mean, I expect to see him charging down those stairs.
No, Ariana, we still haven't seen her. I can't wait to see where that ends up.
This is probably the last time any of us will be in this building.
Why is that?
HHM is downsizing.
Seriously?
Yep, they're going to take half a floor downtown. And they're changing their name.
Changing their name to what?
Bruckner Partners?
Oh,
Something
fuck
like
that. Bruckner, Partner, and douchebags? I don't like that name. That's stupid. So we go off to Kim. They're at the elevator. Jimmy's looking around. We see this Coakley guy or whatever.
Not yet.
Kim's not handling this well, but Jimmy is. Jimmy's messing in. They decide to go up and visit Howard's widow. You're not getting the damn toy. Stop it. You're eating it.
Cheryl, I'm so sorry. I can't
You're like
even
Jimmy,
imagine what you must be
dog.
going through.
You don't know
Jimmy,
what's
when I
good
can
for
do
you.
Anything for you or your family, please just say the word.
Kim is awful because she does these terrible things and feels like she can be good somehow by these meaningless gestures, says Luke.
I guess.
And I think that's part of the reason why she had to leave, because she knows that about herself. I think she's 100% convinced that she is a big hypocrite.
that you wouldn't leave him alone.
Here we go.
I know he thought that. He told me as well. I think he honestly believed it.
But you're denying it.
No. Lebec. Oh, give the dog the toy, says Lebec. Death Waiter says, does it really work that he's a cokehead? No, and I think that's what the wife calls out in this scene we're about to listen to right here. Right now.
I didn't leave here.
Right now.
Under the best terms. The past few years, I could have been more considerate to Howard instead of yitzing him every chance I got. I guess it was just.
I want to scroll up before I miss this message. DR says, am I alone feeling like Chuck was right? Obviously went about an awful way. No, Chuck was 100% right on who his brother was. Called him out on it. Chuck is the personification of that Big Lebowski line. You're right, Walter. You're just an asshole. Like, Chuck is a horrible fucking brother and a horrible fucking human being, but he still knew Jimmy better than any other person on earth and could call that chimp with a machine gun for who he was.
An amount of jealousy on my part because Howard had the respect of my brother.
I love how he can't even say the name of Chuck. My brother.
Tell me what you told the police.
Okay, well, I mean, it was 11 p.m. Howard started pounding on our door. He was very upset. He was going on about something he thought was my fault.
I mean, Chuck is Chuck better than, great name, by the way. Is Chuck better than Jimmy? I'd say they're both pieces of shit on the same coin.
He just wouldn't.
They manipulate people in different ways. Chuck thinks he's better.
That's it.
I'm not oblivious. I know people are saying he was on drugs. Is that what you're trying to tell me?
He just didn't seem like himself.
Are you hearing all of this? Because none of it makes sense to me.
Cheryl, maybe we should just...
I don't care what people are saying.
I love how his wife are like commenters on this video right now. It doesn't make sense. It's not this makes sense. It doesn't make sense. What happened to Howard does not make sense.
I don't care what the police think.
I don't care.
Howard was not on drugs. That simply is not true.
And I love Kim stepping in here and be like, you know what? Time for the Jedi mind trick up your ass.
Order this.
I don't know if it's my place, but
Kim almost straight up said, I'm no big city lawyer. This is no place of mine, but I gotta tell you something. I'm Davos Seaworth, blah, 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 blah.
Please, just spit it out.
Exactly. Fuck you, Kimmy.
It was about 1.5 years ago. I was still an associate here, working late on a brief. And I saw a light
and
on
a little bit of
Howard's
gaslight
office.
in your
Nice
sides,
and
a little
clean
bit
crew.
of gaslight
Left it
in
on by
your
mistake.
eyes, little bit of gaslight in your
And I was sure the office was
little bit
empty,
of
so I
Kimmy
didn't
is all you
knock.
need.
And?
And Howard was there at his desk. Head down.
Yeah, it doesn't look tasty, does it?
And he was snorting something.
Yep, she snaps
I
into
looked at him.
she snaps into slipping Kimmy mode right here.
I didn't know what to do, so I just walked out. And the next morning when we saw each other, neither of us said anything about it. I never told anyone. But now I wish I had.
And I think how I said this earlier, but I think how comfortable she is doing this horrifies her later.
Anything like this. Even a hint.
And they set it up with Cliff, who in this moment is thinking about that scene that we already saw earlier in the season with Howard, where he thought Howard was unsettled, and he's like, we shouldn't be talking about this now. And she is completely fucked and she walks off. And then we see Jimmy and Kim going out, the entrance from season 1 where they used to smoke cigarettes. And this is probably one of the most horrifying scenes in emotional reality porn television history, where Jimmy really thinks things are going to be okay, or he's trying to manifest it.
It's over. I mean, really over.
It's not over, Jimmy.
Let the healing begin.
No, there's no healing, Jimmy. You're fucked. Your relationship's fucked. You're lucky Kim even kisses you goodbye here. And this is just such a well-framed shot. The look on her face is so accurate. I've seen people look at me like this before. I love you, but I can't be with you. I love you, I can't be. I almost thought we were never going to see Kim again after this point. I know we get the breakup scene later between the two of them that I'm gonna play all the audio from that. But in my mind, watching this in this moment, I said Kim's gone. That's the last scene we're seeing Kim in the episode, at least. But no, we do see her again. Alternative universe where Kim and Lalo end up together. God, I would never leave someone I love that much. I can't. It's tough. And that's where this show asks all those important questions, so to speak. And I caught that kiss goodbye. It was just such a deep kiss goodbye as we get into the courtroom scene with Kim losing it. She's tapping. She's wearing all black. She's already given up her law degree, and she needs to get out of this case. And I could play this whole scene, but you guys have heard it. Watch it. She basically just explains that she gave up her law license and she can't do this anymore.
May I ask why?
Personal reasons, Your Honor.
Personal reasons. Are we talking about a health issue? Nothing to do with a loved one?
Nope.
No.
Would you rather discuss this privately in chambers?
Thank you for the consideration.
Exactly. When they get into different cars, you just knew it was over.
Would you care to supply any detail at all?
Your Honor, I'd prefer not to.
Your Honor?
Mr. Ornstein?
I don't want to tell you shit.
To discuss Ms. Wexler's motion?
We are, Your Honor. Absolutely.
You know what, Ms. Wexler? Mr. Ornstein's here. I'm here.
The wine scene, like when they were, when Gus was having the wine, I think it was just a scene to show that Gus was trying to have a real life and he could never have a real life. And I think the wine that he was talking about on the special occasion, I got to say that JT the caller pointed out that it possibly could have been the wine that he gave to Jesse at a later date, but we don't know that for sure.
We all showed up for your party and now you're taking away the punch bowl. I'm inclined to have you argue your motion.
Vicky, I agree with that as well.
Petitions.
I'm sorry for wasting the court's time,
Chuck created the petri dish for Saul Goodman to grow out of.
Your Honor, but it's impossible for me to continue with this hearing.
And why is...
And callers, we have 4 texts and 5 voicemails, and we're going to get to all of those before the end of the night. So if you left a voicemail and you haven't heard it yet, don't worry, we're going to get to it. I'm just finishing the recap of the episode, and then we'll get to a little bit of an after discussion with questions and comments about the episode and get into your voicemails and answer whatever questions. We're not done yet. We're going to keep this going, having too much fun babbling to you guys. So much fun here. We only got 4 more of these to go. Holy fuck. Okay, I'm going to shut up.
That, Ms. Wexler.
Because I'm no longer an attorney.
What?
Sorry, what?
Sorry, what?
I gave notice to the bar 2 hours ago.
What? I have a drinking problem. So, and then we hear crickets as we see Kimmy out doing her smoking butts thing, and she looks so different. And just in this whole scene, the way they show her, the way they frame her, the way they have her talking,
Kim,
she's just a different person. As Jimmy already knows the information. We can see him running from the time she sees him and running in. And I'm just going to keep my mouth shut, and we're going to listen to this whole scene of the two of them.
Why? All right, I know why. But Kim, you can't just...
Jimmy,
Just let me say my piece, okay? Let's take a breath here. Kim, after everything that happened, I mean, Jesus, I get it. You want to climb out of your own skin. That's natural.
Again, this is so frighteningly accurate.
This is your life. You're a lawyer. What about your clients, huh? What about that poor guy, Mr. Yarborough? What about the kid in foster care? Huh? You give them everything you've got. Who are they going to find who's half as good as you? No one.
I don't love it, but the bargaining that Jimmy's doing here is so accurate. The look that she's giving him on his face is, I love you, Jimmy.
Okay,
it's I love you for trying to do this.
All I'm saying is just let's take a week or two to think it over.
Oh my God, that line right there is so accurate. I've said that line. Let's just take a break. Let's take a week. Let's not make this decision now. Let's wait a few months to make the decision. It's okay. You guys listen to me talk. You can imagine me doing this speech. I've done this speech. I haven't caused someone's death like this. Oh, no, I haven't. Maybe emotional in some ways, but and again, I'm not the only one. I think a lot of us have either been in one of the two sides of this conversation, or possibly both. I think I've been on both.
We're gonna take some time off. God knows we need it. We're gonna find a new place. We're gonna leave here. We're never ever gonna come back here again.
Oh my God, Jimmy. Jimmy, I feel you, dude. You want to, but you can't. What's that expression? You can't put lightning back in the bottle. It's just lightning in a bottle anyway. But you can't put toothpaste back in the tube. You just can't. I guess you could. No, it'd be tough.
Okay, we're gonna put it behind us. Things will look brighter, I guarantee it. But first, we have to fix this. So we're gonna go back to the hotel room, and you're gonna write.
Oh my God! I'm sorry, I keep stopping, but that line too. We're gonna fix this. Oh God! How many of us have said that we're gonna fix this line? We're gonna fix this, Jimmy. You're not fixing it. It's not being fixed. Nothing's fixed. The ship is fucked here. You're again, Big Lebowski. The whole ship is fucked here. We're going downhill, dude. You're done.
Letters. You're gonna write a letter to the bar. You're gonna write letters to your clients.
Yeah, can't put Gene back in the bottle, Luke. Thank you.
You dictate, I will type. We're gonna roll this thing back. I'll order a pizza. We'll pull an all-nighter because we're in this together.
And I know some people are saying the Kim is soulless thing. There is an argument for the fact that she is as equally as responsible for the scene that she's setting up here. And instead of dealing with it together emotionally at the team that they did this, she's leaving. And I know some people are saying this is where the argument or the discussion comes into play. This is where the discussion, hey, what are you eating? Where the discussion or the argument comes into play. But Kim leaving, is that the best thing to do because she realizes how toxic they are? Or is it her just escaping? Hey. Or is it her just escaping instead of dealing with the fallout of what they've been through? And leaving Jimmy to deal with his emotional fallout on his own. So you could look at it in both situations. Sorry, I'm dealing with the dog too.
Okay, so I'm gonna go get your printer, and then we're gonna get the hell out of here.
Wait, Jimmy.
I'm gonna go get your printer, and we're gonna get out of here. It's just, it's horrifying. And he goes into the room, and he sees that she has all of her stuff already packed. And the look in her face, she's just so resolved.
You asked if you were bad for me.
This is the hardest point. Oh, sorry. I want to hear this.
That's not it.
Good dog.
We are.
Yeah, Kim is a fucking train wreck right here. And she's completely snapped into her mother role. And you could say, again, someone could argue, and I'm sure someone will make the point, that she's trying to do the right thing here by leaving and breaking up this unholy alliance, so to speak. But I think she's letting him down. I think they got in this together. They both still care about each other. The way to work through this is together. I don't think they're necessarily toxic together. I think they faced some bad luck. And I think Kim made some shitty decisions. I think Jimmy tried to curb it a little bit. But I think at nature, they got carried away and could come back from this in some warped way. But maybe I'm just a romantic.
Bad for each other.
Kim,
don't do this. He's going through all the stages of Lost. He's living in bargaining right now. And eventually he does get to anger and acceptance, but wow. Or no, he never does. He never gets to acceptance until maybe Gene timeline. Really.
I have had the time of my life with you.
I've had the time of my
You're
life.
bad for everyone around us. Other people suffer because of us. Apart, we're okay, but together, we're poison.
No,
This just reeks of bullshit. You coward. You're leaving him. In the middle of this, he's going through it too. And instead of dealing with this together, go to some fucking therapy or something. Can you go to a murder therapy? The Ozark couple did it for fucking poop. What the fuck? No, I'm sorry. I understand where Kim's coming from in this standpoint. I think they're both to blame in this situation. God damn it. I think they're both to blame in this situation, but I don't know.
Need to do to change, okay? Just tell me what it is and I'll do it.
Jimmy.
No, Kim, you make me happy. We make each other happy. How can that be bad? Hey, I love you.
I love you too. But so what?
No, Kim, you're wrong. This is about Howard. Okay, what happened to him wasn't on us. It wasn't your fault. It wasn't my fault. It was that fucking Lalo Salamanca. That psychopath came back from the dead and he walked through that door. He did this, not us, him.
And she's just holding this in her gun. Like, she knows that she manipulated and lied to him in this situation, and it all needs to come out. And I know I missed a little bit of the audio there, too, of them arguing, but it's just like hearing Jimmy, like, he's trying to do his lawyer thing. He's trying to do his Jimmy thing. He's trying to figure it out. He just can't do it. He can't push past it. She knows all of his games. She still loves him. She still cares about him. She still kind of wants to be with him, I think, in some level, too. I think she's just scared and fucking jumping out of fucking Dodge City here.
I knew.
You knew what?
I knew he was alive.
Exactly. I'm sorry, BCS. Like, I'm agreeing with you, agreeing with me. I always feel weird doing that, but yes, you're right. She's doing this in a way that she's being completely selfish and protecting her own self-interest. It's like she can't handle this anymore. And I get it. But I do think, like, strength in numbers in some ways, especially in this situation. They both went through the same situation together. EJ16E, Kim flashback, cold open, lawyer oath in the next episode. I do think we'll see a Kim flashback at some point in time. I don't know if it's going to be in the next episode or will be in the episode that we find, like maybe in the final episode when we know we're seeing Kim again. And when we're in a Gene timeline, that might be an interesting flashback to get a Kim flashback. I do think we will get it at some point. And the super chat donation, let me spin that wheel right here. Spin it, spin the wheel. It landed on. Ooh, there we go. A little bit more drum fun right now. And here we go. Thank you so much for the super chat. Oh, let me turn the volume down. Oh, let me turn that down. Thank you so much for the super chat donation. More appreciated than you know. And how the heck did he get the Statue of Liberty to blow up? I wondered the same thing. I wanted to see him actually get that thing from the Kettlemans. That would have been amazing. I know Discad, that's not his beat. Somewhere I have J.K. Simmons yelling at me from a corner. Listen, issues guy, that's not my beat. Yo, take him. It's a breakfast bar. It's delicious. So let's listen to the end of Kim and Jimmy breaking up.
No, you didn't.
It was about a month ago. I saw that car following me again.
Thank you.
And it turned out that Mike Ehrmantraut had guys watching both of us, watching for Lalo.
Mike told you that Lalo was alive.
Oh, the look on her face.
And you didn't tell me?
He wants to be. This is a fucked up moment. It's like you're breaking up with someone and she basically says, and you're like, please stay, and she's like, but I cheated on you, and he's like, but I want you to stay. Like he can't resign himself in his mind. Oh, we got lots of voicemails. I can't wait to get to all of them. We're gonna get to all of your voicemails before the night is done, everybody. Not even close to done here, breaking apart this amazing episode. I'm gonna take my time every week here and enjoy ourselves every week talking about these last 4 episodes. We're gonna make a fucking meal out of this shit.
I thought it was a 1 in a million chance that he'd come for us. I thought he would be caught.
And then she turns it around. Oh God, this is one of the finest acted breakup scenes since Whitecaps. I would still edge out Whitecaps as one of the best I've seen on screen. There's a lot of really good ones, but this is definitely up there. Like this moment is so intense and so real. It feels really real to me. It feels like I'm watching a glimpse into my own past in some ways in this argument.
If he did, and I told myself I was protecting you. But that's not the truth. The real reason I didn't.
This reminds me a lot. I know the Kim is Walter people. This reminds me a lot of the Walter line. I didn't do this for my family. I did this because I like it.
All you was because I knew what you'd do.
It was the best scene. I think even the people that weren't, Louis Berry, someone that didn't necessarily feel this episode, this scene, it's hard. This was a great scene. This was a great scene. It needed to happen at some point, sometime. I think this episode was all about this scene. Everything else that happened in this episode was fun and superfluous to the fact of this is the most important part of this episode. And it works. It was inevitable after the last 2 episodes, and you needed to get here. But you couldn't just have a whole episode of this. I think that's why you get a little bit of disjointed timing. And for me, it works. But I can understand for some of you, maybe it didn't work as well. But for me, it really works. That you just kind of, you unleash everything step by step. You go through it all. And then you lead up to the end point where you have the explosion of that was an inevitable snowball rolling through this whole time. So yeah.
You'd blame yourself. You'd fear for me. You'd want us to run and hide until you were sure I was safe. You would pull the plug on the scam and then...
Oh, I love how she says that you would pull the plug on the scam. Like, she's so connected to this fucking scam. She was so locked in on it. Oh, she's having so much fun in games.
And then, we'd break up. And I didn't want that.
But you're okay with that now? You're suddenly okay with you breaking up? You didn't want that?
Because I was having too much fun.
In games. It's not you. It's me. It's not you. It's not me. Worlds colliding, Jimmy. Worlds colliding. Sorry. Someone in the live chat said George Costanza. Oh. It's a weird angle. I'm sorry. I can't keep this angle, even though the puppy's way cuter than me. Okay, so the games are over. The games are over, Soft Badge. Great episode. It was nice to bridge the Breaking Bad. Love both shows. As she walks out, she packs all of her stuff, and we got to actually watch this transition. And then we get our transition into our cameras. Can't have the fun without the games. It's all fun and games until someone loses an eye. Too much fun, Richie. I bet they won't. As we transition into the leopard or the animal print blanket. Where you want it, that's the way you... Watch this video be flagged by... And away. Move. She loves to groove. She wants the other way. Sorry, I'm sorry. You don't want to get me into karaoke. See, yeah, doesn't it kind of look like Kim's mom for a second here? I don't know. But sorry, awful focus there. Oh no, focus. There we go. Better. Stay. Just stay. Amazing song. I love Journey. I love some Journey. I won't destroy Journey for you, but it's one of a great soundtrack band. Not just because it was used in The Sopranos, or used in Glee, which also had Carol Burnett. But you got a lot of Journey on Glee. Can we talk about Bob's cute little butt? You can talk all about Bob's cute little butt. He's definitely Bob's in the no, but you can see Bob in the nobody shape here at this point. And I love how we straight up get right into Saul Goodman. We don't have to. We hit the ball running. Like, you don't need to explain it. Once you hear him talking,
tell him yes.
It's Saul Goodman thing. Kim is the bitch wife confirmed. Ooh. I do have a call in. If you want to call in, Brian, 781-990-8509. Again, that's 781-990-8509. We have a voicemail line. I can set it up, I think, so I can take a live calls. I just haven't done it in a while, so I don't know if it's actually going to work. But that is possible too. But you can leave a voicemail if you would like at 781-990-8509. Love to hear your voices. We're going to get to all that stuff in a second because not much else to say here as we get into our Jimmy's butt. No, we get into our Jimmy is Saul Goodman. But I mean, like, let's just listen to the sultry sounds of Saul Goodman.
Breakfast bar. Go ahead, take one. I'm not talking to you. Ramirez, yes, call that kid, tell him I want the names and numbers of all the victims. I smell class action. And then get the kid with the camera. Send him up there. And then call the newspaper and say that Saul Goodman is outraged at the fiery fiasco on the 40. That's what we're going to call it.
Joseph, it totally did. I was like, is that Kim? That's why I thought it was Kim's mom at first. I was like, are we seeing a Kim's mom scene?
Move it to court day.
I don't think there's loose ends for Mike to clean up, but I do think there's loose ends in the point of the lab, like the super lab being developed and catching up with those storylines and watching more as Gus takes charge and seeing how Gus handles even just the mention of Heisenberg coming into the area. Hearing how just seeing more with Gus and Mike, seeing how they bond more. I think there is more to do there.
Going down there twice in 1 week, that's their problem.
Gordon Shumway, our Melmacian friend, says 5 out of 10 because there was no cats for him to eat in this episode. Melmacian friend, I understand you always want some pussy cats to eat.
Send a messenger with Beanie Babies and an edible arrangement with extra dip pineapple. It's shut up.
Auto insurance won't pay for your fender bender? Ripped off by your brother-in-law?
Better call.
Major or minor surgery gone wrong. I'm here for you, Albuquerque. Better call Saul. Call 505-503-4...
Did you hear that? It's in mono. I'm not paying for that muffled crap.
It's in mono. Okay, and then we just get, like, I could just play Bob Odenkirk for the rest of this episode doing, like, the funny Saul Goodman stuff. Because that's basically what he does for the remainder of this episode. He heads in, and we just get a bunch of amazing shots of him at the breakfast bar. He's driving, doing his Saul thing. We stop at his office. We see the Statue of Liberty. He's in the office. It's the Breaking Bad timeline in full effect. I don't know what, like I said, I don't know what year it is. I know people looked at the license plate. I'm not looking at this right now to look at the license plate stuff. I'm not too curious exactly at the right year. All I know is that I think the important thing that we knew leading up, or that we wanted to know leading up to this episode and leading up to this entire second half of the season was, would we get any time jumps? And the fact that we got any time jump is enough for me. Like, now I know that time isn't an issue and we can jump around in time.
Tell him to crank it up or I'll see him in court.
Got it.
I love the music in the background. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. My Tito's is all gone. Nice. But, as he stretches out, And right here, I was half expecting him to go, Mr.
All right. Let justice be done, though the heavens fall.
Motherfucker! You said it, the thing, and it happened, and... Play the damn song.
Lost, I'm off and brought to the post edge back at the top. See you there when the bruise is clear. I'm clearly better when I'm dropped. Born through rare men's gallows. Think on the bum like an old man mother. Wants to hurry to get away. Say I'll flip you when you play. They will get huh? The words cover me to side. But bless each other. Get a life is the best I see. Don't wanna live to what is me.
And that is our episode of Better Call Saul. We still got to get to a lot of our chatters, and we're definitely not done taking your questions and comments. But that's the end of our episode of Better Call Saul. Wow, what an episode! I loved it. Great way to end it. Right back in our Better Call Saul in our Breaking Bad timeline. Let me shut off this music so I can get some voicemails going. And yeah, here we go. So let's get into it. Let's zip through the texts first, and then we're going to get into our voicemails. We got 8 voicemails ready and waiting, but we got plenty of room on the voicemail line. Keep them coming. As long as I get voicemails, super chats, those kind of stuff, we'll keep the show going as long as possible. I'm not in any hurry to end things tonight. You guys are amazing, and thank you so much for staying with me tonight. And we got a great crowd tonight, and I appreciate all of you for joining me tonight. Hope, Gail, Marie, Walt Jr., Tuco, Gail, hope we get guest appearances from all of them, says Lewis Barry. Let me toast this up to you, Lewis. Take a drink for that super chat donation. Where the fuck did that dog go? Where's the dog? Let me spin that wheel for you for the super chat. I like your drumming, Phil, but I like your dancing better. Oh, you're so sweet. You're so sweet. I appreciate that. Where is it? What I land on? It's I land on Phil Drink. Toast it up. No one wants to hear me play any more drums. That's also me in this song playing trumpet badly too. This is actually one of my bands playing. All that's great, but it's not truth. The only truth is talking news. Okay, enough of that crap. Okay, so let's get into some of your voicemails and text right now. Get me wasted with these super chat donations. I think we're gonna get that's the Walt. I think we're gonna get pre-bald Walt. Okay. Well, while I drink my last drink, not my last drink. I still have more drinks in the refrigerator. So let's listen to the end of this wonderful song that I dedicate to Better Call Saul.
My mouth, I hold my heart. I'm standing on sand, my legs spread apart. Care about the vine that is your line that used to be mine, so I dragged it down the line.
Okay, enough of that self-masturbatory activity right there, listening to my own music. I just do it for copyright reasons. But anyway, okay. Let's listen to the text. Phil, there was never a divorce. A taxi driver is about to serve Gene with divorce papers. That's a very, very possibility. 914. I didn't even think about that one. But he could be serving Saul. 909. I feel like it'll only be the entire last episode that shows the Gene timeline. I think we're going to see more action in the Gene timeline in the final episode, but I feel like we're going to see some moments of it in the next episode. Partially because of the preview that we saw at the end of the episode where we see what looked like the mall from the Gene timeline and hearing him going off on an off-the-cuff sort of speech. So I do think that's possible, but let's see. Plot twist, Phil is Tuco. I just grew my hair. Yeah. I'm certainly as crazy that there's a possibility there. May the Lyle be with you too, Richie. And the Vanna. May the Vanna and the Lyle be with you, sir. A lot of justice talk in this episode. So is the consensus that we have one Breaking Bad era episode and then we go to the Gene episodes? I don't know. I think we're going to have a couple of mid-era episodes before we even get in. Hey, Bean, come here. before we get into our Breaking Bad sort of stuff. So I think we might get a couple of episodes within this middle timeline before we get to the Gene. I tend to agree with some of the callers and some of the texters are saying that I think we're only going to get one full Gene episode. I think it's going to be a lot of lead up until we get there. Let's see. We got, what's this? 914 says, Saul's let there be justice done until the heavens fall. Nacho's dad says, this is not justice, this is sweet revenge. Prepare for revenge in the next episode. The revenge conversation Mike has with Nacho's dad is bookend to the conversation Mike had with Gus in the previous episode of the season. Do we have any more texts here? Yes, we do. I'm worried about Jimmy's fish. Jimmy, I don't think Saul will flush Jimmy's fish. I think they're going to have a good communication about the fish situation. Area code 404. Do you think Walt is going to be in the next episode with only 4 left? Also, what was the Gus wine scene about? It seemed like filler and confused me. I do think we're going to see Walt in the next episode, or maybe in episode which is the one that Vince wrote and directed. Is that 11? I think the next episode might be lead up to the Walt thing, and then episode 11 will have Walt and Jesse. I think next episode is Carol Burnett. Then episode 11 is Walt and Jesse. 12 is something completely different that we can't think of yet, and then 13 is the final episode. That's my amended timetable here of the way things are going. And I think that's all of our texts. Okay, so now let's go to our voicemail line. We got 9 voicemails to get to here tonight. So let's get through all of these voicemails. I'm not going to miss a thing. First of all, we got this first one from 813.
My name is Chris, calling from Virginia.
Hey, Chris.
Just wanted to say, wow, what a great episode 8 that was. I mean, that was insane.
Oh, you watched episode 8.
More than what I could ever have imagined.
No, 813 is an episode behind, so I'm sorry if I missed that episode, missed your voicemail last week, but yes, incredible. Hope you called in again to give your thoughts of this next episode as well, 813. But thank you so much for calling on in, and thank you. Oh, yeah, no, we got you. You actually called out. I have another message from you from tonight that I'll play your whole message tonight. So this is area code 718.
Yeah, so I just forgot to mention I was laughing my fucking ass off.
Oh, that's Big J. Let's play Big J's that first half of his message. This is our good buddy
Phil,
Big J.
Big J, yeah.
Big J.
I'm gonna call you late. Anyway, this was an outrageous episode.
Fucking crazy, Big J.
I thought it was off the fucking charts, man. I'm a little confused. I actually had to watch this a little later. I'm gonna rewatch your recap so I get your take on this whole thing. But I tell you, man, first of all, I didn't mention this last week, but Lalo and Tony Dolan, what a great job he did. I miss him already, man. He made this show.
He really did.
Great character. This thing with Kim, I'm a little confused because I guess that was her last way of being. When she told the wife, when she lied, I guess that was her last thing, just to get Jimmy out of it. But she's done, huh? She's done. She's done, man. That broke her. I didn't think this would break her. It did break her. She knows what she is now. Will we see her again? I think so. In the Gene timeline, we're going to see her again, maybe.
I agree, Big J.
But it's just another thing I wanted to ask. Maybe you talked about this already. The thing with Gus, he was all happy. Where was that? What was that? Like just a bar he hangs out at? That was a little weird. That it's sort of like his own little space that he's.
Yeah, he had like a little club that everyone knew him at. It was his cheers. He was like, everyone knows your name there. He's like, Gus. Hey, everybody, Gus.
It looked like just a little hangout that nobody knows about that he just escapes to. I thought that was cool. He was drinking the wine. Why did he get weed though all of a sudden? Maybe I missed that. He looked like he was there to celebrate. Obviously killing Lalo. I don't have to worry about him no more. That's the only thing that confused me. And then how they just jumped into the Better Call Saul, basically Breaking Bad.
And like what I was saying in that scene before for the before we go past that, I think it was just to show that Gus can't have a normal life. No matter what he does, even when he wins in a situation, he's always going to be having to keep on edge, because guys like Walter are going to show up at any day, any time. Like a guy like Lalo, a guy like Walter is always going to come and try to push the king off the top of the mountain. So I think that scene was supposed to show that Gus can't have a normal life. He just can't.
I guess they jumped ahead. You know, they went right from him breaking up with Kim to being with hookers, and yeah, it was a little weird, man. It was cool. I really enjoyed this episode, man. The acting, Ray Sahorn's acting was off the charts, man. I really enjoyed it. I'm gonna miss this show. Fucking great show.
Big J, I can't believe how many years it's been that we've been able to talk about this show. Like, Big J is one of our longtime Better Call Saul. Like, I feel like you've been calling on in since season 2, I think, of our discussions of Better Call Saul. So we've been so lucky to have Big J and so many of you guys joining us for this whole run of this series. Big J's second half of his message. And like I said, we got bunch more voicemails. We'll get to all of them. If you want to get in your calls right now, there's still time. 781-990-8509. Phone call or text if I happen to miss your live chat.
Yeah, Phil, I just forgot to mention, I was laughing my fucking ass off when they went to put the neck brace in the Better Call Saul time jump, when he put the neck brace on that fucking kid. That just was fucking so funny, man. Yeah, and that being said, and yeah, I thought that was Kim's mother too. It's funny. Yeah, so I just forgot to leave that out. That was hysterical, and putting the fucking neck brace on that kid, man. That's such a fucking warrior thing, man. You know, that's all Better Call Saul right there. But all right, buddy, that was it. All right, I enjoyed watching you.
Thank you, Big J. Always awesome. This is area code 717.
Hey, Phil, we've talked before. It's Brian C. I wanted to get your reaction to the fact that the sommelier in the bar told Gus that he got a wine that he could taste the soil in. Do you think that Gus's reaction, where he sat there and thought about it, that he will get Lalo and Howard out of the ground?
Ooh.
That was my take on it. Thanks, Phil.
717. Great to hear from you again. You have a great radio voice. I don't know if you ever do podcasting your voice, but you got a great radio voice. Possibly because when the lab gets discovered and blows up, they don't actually find the bodies. So it could be a moment where he thinks about that, because it does seem like he has an aha kind of perspective before he runs out of there. Interesting perspective, and I love it. Good voicemail, my friend. Area code 310.
Hey, Phil, this is Justin from Los Angeles. I just had a prediction. I think Carol is going to be Hector's wife or somewhere in that ballpark.
Ooh.
And one other thing I noticed from the last episode was...
Did you say you think Carol Burnett's going to be Hector's wife? I gotta listen to what you said again. I think that's what you said.
Hey, Phil, this is Justin from Los Angeles. I just had a prediction. I think Carol is going to be Hector's wife or somewhere in that ballpark. And one other thing I noticed from the last episode was when Gus went to go hide that gun in the beginning, he walked his paces to count. But when he kicked the light in front of Lalo, he ran to it. So that kind of like irked me a little bit, I guess. Thanks, man. Love the show.
And great voicemail as well. I'm sorry that I have to go back to 717's voice. I got to hear your voice again, buddy. It's so good.
Hey, Phil, we've talked before. It's Brian C.
Phil, we've talked before. You're such a good... Like, I'm so jealous of your voice, 717. You have such a good radio voice. My voice is annoying. I'm like, rah, 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 rah. You're like, hi, how's it going? I'm here. I'm leaving a casual voicemail with the most smooth voice you've ever heard in your life. I love you, 717. Not my Jimmy. Not my Jimmy. Okay, sorry. You guys are amazing. Keep the voicemails coming. Like I said, as long as we keep getting voicemails, I will keep the show going. As long as we keep the discussion going. This is area code 619.
Hi, Phil. This is Ariana. I'm calling from New York. My first time calling.
Welcome.
Super excited. My question was, what was your take on the Don Eladio scene in the pool when Don Eladio and Hector and the brothers and Bolso were all together and they were questioning Gus? Do you think Don Eladio believed Hector or did he believe that Lalo had actually died the first time they thought he was dead? And do you think that Gus got more credibility with Don Eladio, or did Don Eladio doubt him? I really had a hard time reading that scene. So I'd be curious your take on it. Thank you so much.
Thank you for the amazing voicemail. Good question. I thought it was played really interestingly because I feel like it could be looked at in multiple perspectives. It could be looked at a little bit in a perspective that Don Eladio believed Hector but knew he didn't have any evidence to prove any of it. So he was in an odd position. So I do think in some ways he thought that maybe Hector might be on to something, but he doesn't have enough proof. So at this point, all Gus is really someone that makes him a lot of money that he can't really sort of go away from. He has to sort of take Gus's side. He has no choice. And also, he played it in a really weird way. Also, that maybe he was just annoyed and he thought Hector's brain was a little fucked up and that he was missing his uncle. So I don't know. But he also played it at the end in a very interesting way with saying that, hey, Gus, I know you're going to backstab me, essentially. Like I know I see hate in your eyes. So I said this earlier, but I do think it's accurate that I think Eladio sensed that Gus had more going on, but didn't have any hard evidence to prove it because Gus is slimy enough and crafty enough to keep things moving enough to not lock himself into a position where Eladio could call him out. So I do think that there is something there in the way that maybe he believed Hector to a certain extent, but you don't have evidence. And it was easy just to say, okay, I'm not going to. And I think he's annoyed with the dinging and the bells. And I think it was a joke and it was funny and I laughed my ass off. But I do think there's something to the fact of Hector is a little bit of a joke now. So it's hard to take anything he says too seriously. So great call, Ariana. Yes, I am a SC native, but I live in New York now. Oh, no. Still pissed with the last episode. I can't hate on this one, Toe Cutter. Gus makes too much money to kill him. Keep them in their own territory. We just got a text message in. Let's see what this text message is. Do you think that Saul accidentally saying Lalo's name to the investigators is going to play into something? I don't think so. I think all of that is irrelevant now because everyone thinks that Lalo Salamanca is dead. So I think it was some of those stuff that's important at the time but isn't important when you really come down to it later on. This is a message from, I think it's our good friend Jackie.
Hey Phil, it's Jackie Dracaris, bitch, from Florida. I can't believe this episode.
Dude.
I was screaming at the TV so many times and just shocked. Especially when Kim dropped her law license. I was like, what the fuck
What'd you
are
do?
you doing? I would never give up my career like that. No matter how traumatic of an experience I've been through, like that's her whole dream in life. And it made total sense for her to leave Jimmy. That's what I expected, but I didn't expect it this episode. So
Yeah.
that was a shocker, and it was so heartbreaking to watch their breakup scene. And just that time jump from that to him becoming Saul, that we know in that ridiculous mansion. with a hooker.
With the hooker.
That was crazy.
I love how you said. I love
also
how
Gus in the wine scene. We see him
I love how you said the hooker. That was great comic timing right there.
flirting with the wine guy and, you know, enjoying himself and kind of like a victory, relaxing a bit. But then as soon as the wine guy leaves, he realizes, you know, I can't have a normal life. I gotta focus on my business and my revenge. And that's it. And he leaves. But yeah, my gaydar was definitely going off at DEFCON 1. Gus is gay. It's definitely confirmed. If you can't see that, then you must be blind. Rainbow flags everywhere around him. Anyway, it was a great episode, and I love you. Keep doing what you're doing. You're a great guy. Thanks. Bye.
Thank you so much, Dracarys, bitch. I very much appreciate that. And I hope you follow us over to House of the Dragon 2, where we'll be doing episode recaps of that. That's the next show that we're going to be covering on the channel. So I hope you bounce over to our after shows on Sunday evenings. Literally the week right after this. So we're going to be jumping right over to that. So let's get in to area code 870. What an awesome voicemail. Thank you.
Hey, so you can see some information about the episodes on IMDb. If you don't want to see any photos, I recommend not looking at them, but there's some cool images. That's all I'm going to say. But that's some of my hopes.
Yep.
I hope to get Gail, Skylar, White, Walt Jr. to go, and who else did I want? And Marie. I think they'll character I would love to see what Walter White's family is doing and how Hank's wife, Marie, is doing after Breaking Bad. That kind of one thing I would like with a Camino, but then that would not really be JC's part of the story, but I also hope we also get a lot.
And I'm sorry if the audio for the callers is a little tough to get through. I'm trying to figure out my volume situation as well. I'm sorry if my volume is a little off on some of the callers' volumes. I will work on fixing that ASAP. Here we go. 870. Area code 870.
Yes, I hope you get like what in JC throughout the last few episodes. I hope they are not just like cameos. I hope we get like some solid stuff.
Yeah, me too. I hope we do get not just some Breaking Bad era stuff. I hope we get all sorts of different dynamics of Saul Goodman. I feel like these next episodes that we're going to see a little bit more of that potential Saul Goodman, the original Saul Goodman idea, where we see him in different cases, like him working with his teams, working with the organizations, working with everything. I think it's going to be a lot of fun kind of stuff going on in the next episode, seeing Saul be Saul Goodman, essentially.
Hey, Phil, it's Chris. I just wanted to mention a few things. Thinking now, after watching this episode, and you see Gus kind of not wanting to have a personal relationship with someone, do you think now, when you look back at Breaking Bad, that maybe he created like this fake family?
Yeah, I do think, and I also think the relationship he had, and I'm going to play the rest of your message, the relationship he had with Gail ended up being more personal later on, and part of the reason why he got so upset with the situation is that Walt killed someone he groomed and crafted.
He says to Walt, I'm making this dish because the kids would never eat it and they were out of town that day. I'm just wondering now, did he even have a family, or was that just a front? Secondly, it seemed kind of sloppy on Mike to go and tell Nacho's dad,
It was.
Your son's dead. Justice will be done to the Salamancas. Like, that seems very sloppy on Mike's part.
It seemed like very much a half measure by Mike's part, or what he was doing. Like, I was convinced when he was going to see Nacho's dad, he was going to kill him. And ultimately, because he didn't kill him, did he just go there to tell his dad that Nacho's dead. It seems like an awful loose end to show himself, talk about it, say that he was there when Nacho died. I don't know. It was. I agree with you, caller.
I'm not sure what you think about that, but for all we know, Nacho's dad could go to the police, try to get Hector arrested or whatnot. I don't know. I get why he did it, but it just seems really sloppy for Mike to do that, being that he's very detail oriented and very, the less that's said, the better.
Yeah, no, totally.
And lastly, the only thing that makes sense to me is the Kettlemans have to be running Ice Station Zebra.
Ice Station Zebra.
I think Saul hires them, maybe negotiates it. Hey, look, I hired you. Can I have this Statue of Liberty, whatever blow-up thing for his office? So I just wanted to get your thoughts on those 3 points. I thought the episode was well done. It's all fun and games.
Great call, my friend. I do think we're going to see the Kettlemans in the future timeline at some point in time. It would make sense that we're not just going to flash to them having the Statue of Liberty. We might see that the Kettlemans are working for him in some sense. I also do think we'll see the veterinarian, or maybe we'll see Saul get the book at some point. I do think so. Let's go to area code 706 again.
Hey, Phil, this is Jackie again, Dracarys, bitch, from Florida. I forgot to mention in my last voicemail. I think the Walt and Jesse scenes are going to shift our view of Breaking Bad, not entirely, but in a significant way. So I think these scenes are going to be crucial. And one of the things that I think it is that Saul is somehow either directly or indirectly responsible for Brock's poisoning. Because remember, he was dropping off money for Andrea, for Jesse, every single week. And
I believe he was the one that hired Huel to do the switch off and stuff so he's directly, he is absolutely responsible in part of the poisoning of Brock's situation.
Regular schedule for Jesse. So it wouldn't be uncommon for him to show up there holding a bunch of money, and maybe he brought a juice box with poison in it that Brock drank and got poisoned. So I think it will be something like that. Nothing to throw away. Everything in the show has a meaning. So the Walt and Jesse scenes are definitely going to be crucial to our understanding of Breaking Bad as we know it. And Vince Gilligan.
And my question for you guys in the live chat right now, but not play the remainder of Dracarys Bitch, and we have one more voicemail and a couple of texts to go. What do you guys think will be the cold open of the next episode? Could the cold open of the next episode be Walt and Jesse? Is it going to be something else? Are we going to see a Kim cold open? Are we going to see a Gene cold open in the next episode? What do you guys think for the cold open in the next episode in the live chat? Very curious what you guys think.
And then Peter Gould said that it would change the way that we look at Breaking Bad. So I'm looking forward to it and wondering what it is. But I hope they tie in that Brock thing because that's a big loose end, How did he get poisoned?
Someone in the live chat asked who Brock is. I take for granted that people might not have watched Breaking Bad or remember Breaking Bad. Brock is the kid that Walter poisoned with ricin to try to get Jesse on his side against Gus, saying that Gus poisoned him or caused it in some ways. I believe that's what it is. It's been a while since I watched Breaking Bad, but I think I'm paraphrasing it to a certain extent. Here we go. Area code 607.
Hey, Phil, it's Winston. I'm from New York. And overall, the newest episode was a great thing. Like, my heart dropped during the scene with Jimmy and Kim breaking up. But during the Saul Goodman scene, I think it's going to take place in the actual Better Call Saul episode in Breaking Bad where they introduced him.
Yep.
Because during it, when he's on the phone, when he's picking out his outfit, he mentioned something about public masturbator. And, he mentioned something about a case with a public masturbator. And during that episode, he mistakes Brandon, Badger, for a public masturbator. So I'm thinking that maybe that like the next episode, maybe near the end or near the beginning, we get the scene with Walt as Mr. Mayhew. But yeah, who knows what's gonna happen? It's overall a great episode, and love the stream, dude.
Thank you so much, my friend. And yes, I'm sorry, it was Lily of the Valley. I thought he made the ricin from the Lily of the Valley, but I could be wrong. I was wrong about that. It's been, like I said, it's been a while since I saw Breaking Bad. Kettleman spinoff, I could absolutely watch this. I'm honestly not too excited about the Breaking Bad era stuff. Like, we already saw Breaking Bad. Do we need more? I don't know. I'm more interested in Gene. Will Walt and Jesse really be relevant? I don't know if they're going to be relevant, but I do think it's going to be relevant what we see Jimmy going through during the Breaking Bad timeline, how he compartmentalizes everything, what he goes through. I think it's going to add brand new meaning and depth to Jimmy during those scenes, because we only saw Jimmy from Walt and Jesse's perspective. We didn't see everything from his perspective. I think it's going to open things up to a more three-dimensional perspective to say that we see things in Jimmy's way during that same timeline, so it just adds that extra layer to it. So that's why I'm excited for the Breaking Bad stuff, not because I think more needs to be treaded on those timelines. Tread lightly. I just think that it's going to be cool to see what else Jimmy was up to during that time frame. Because I don't think we're going to see, as we were saying earlier, I don't think we're going to see reissues of Breaking Bad scenes. I just think we're going to see alternative moments during that timeline, what Jimmy was doing. And I am very interested in that, personally. Walt made ricin from the cat. Okay, thank you. I thought that Saul didn't know it was poison. When he met Walt afterwards, he was extremely upset. He was, but he still had Huel do the bumpin' switch, right? Like, he was upset, but he still did it. He didn't tell Jesse what was going on. Got a couple more texts here. Let's get to them here. Area code 914. Do you think there are any loose ends left to be tied up that will affect the show going forward as we step into the Breaking Bad timeline? I don't think in the Saul timeline, I think the biggest loose ends left to go are, what's the ultimate fate of Kim and Jimmy together? How do they finalize the lab? And are the bodies ever found eventually of Lalo, and more importantly of Howard? And the most important answer left is what happens with Gene. Does Gene go back to Albuquerque, as I think he does eventually, and kind of face things and go into some sort of court case of some kind? Also, we have to see exactly what happened with the Sandpiper money, and we have to see Saul in court a little bit as well. So there are some answers, but a lot of the drama, you're right. In some ways, a lot of the loose ends have been dealt with. Area code 616. Last scene of the series, Kim visits Gene at Cinnamon. She's upset with the quality of the cinnamon, and she says, "I send it back." That would be a fun ending. I do think the ending ends up in Albuquerque somehow, personally, but I could see an ending like that happening too. He knew it was poison, but didn't tell him it was poisoning a kid. The new public masturbator is Badger. When I heard it, I was so hyped. Lily of the Valley is a heart poison. Ricin is from the beans. Thank you, cohort. And thank you, everyone, clearing up my misinformation. Just don't fuck with the kids. Don't fuck with the kids. We're going to start to wrap things up here. Everyone, thank you so much for the voicemails. Thank you so much for the super chats tonight. Ooh, okay, we got one more text. Now is the time. Get your last minute texts and voicemails in it. Last one from me. Theory: Gene will be poisoned. Jeff with a Cinnabon. I got to give full credit to my area code 909. You're in simpatico with my partner in crime, Tony Teflon, who also believes there'll be some poisoning with Cinnabons going on. So I'm not sure if I believe that, but that might be very interesting. But definitely, everybody, if you have any last-minute voicemails or texts, now's the time. 781-990-8509. Again, that's 781-990-8509. If you don't know, I'll be back next week. Next Monday at whatever time the episode, we don't know how long the episode is, but about 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to discuss this episode. I might put out another video midweek, like a shorter video on Better Call Saul, so make sure you're subscribed to check that out. But at least I will be back next week and doing this again, so I hope all of you guys that have joined us tonight will join us again next week to keep the discussion and keep the conversation going. And if you know someone else that might like this kind of nonsense, bring them along, share it with a friend, and drag them along to next week to join the fun, silly discussion here. I'm excited for Walt and Jesse. It's one of those things that we don't need Walt and Jesse. I don't think we need Walt and Jesse at all, but it does add to the texture of the series to get them. And 773, I've heard this a few times, Cinnabon wouldn't hurt their brand by letting someone poison them with them. Let's get into that. I want a Cinnabon too. I am definitely going to try to get a Cinnabon for the season finale. Fun and Games episode to Better Call Saul. Jumping from, what a jump. Cinnabon. We get the Cinnabon manager in the live chat who listen, I know you're employing that guy, Gene. You better watch out about him. He's awful. Thank you, Jackie C, for being an amazing moderator in our live chat, keeping it awesome. Oh my God, if Kim turns Jimmy in for the reward money and ends up in prison, bittersweet. It could absolutely be that. I know Teflon thinks that Jeff is looking for Jimmy for Kim for possible reasons like that. I think from this episode, I don't see why Kim would be mad enough at Jimmy to want to do that. I think she'd be more trying to help him now, but that's definitely a possibility. We just got a few texts in right now. I bet Kim uses the vacuum service to escape. I wonder if that will come into play at some point in time later on. But at this point, it looks like she escaped on her own. 773, Cinnabon. Kim works at H&M at the mall with Gene. Very possible that she works at the mall as well. I wouldn't be surprised. Cohort says, I thought Carol Burnett was going to be take over HHM, but it seems like HHM has been wrapped up and tied with a bow. Nippy episode will focus on Mike's hard nipples, says Jennifer. I think you might be onto something. I think this next episode might be completely about hard nipples. Nippy, I think we're onto something here. Pete's live music, the amazing Pete's live music, says we have several slow zooming close-ups of Gus transforming between two personas. Do you think when Jimmy goes full Saul, we'll show it the same way? I think Jimmy already has gone full Saul, and we see it in that transition into the scene. The question more, I think, moving forward is, will Gene go back into Jimmy? Will we see Jimmy again in the Gene timeline? Bean, stay. Come on, Bean. 914 says, the point of the Mexico scene was to give reasons as to why Gus can taunt Hector because no one believes him after the Lalo incident. Excellent point, 914. Is this Weird Al Yankovic? It's very possible that I'm Weird Al Yankovic. I'm not denying the similarities. In fact, do I have the picture with me right now? Let me see if I have the picture. Because if I do, I met Weird Al Yankovic once. It's a true story. I met him and I said, hey, Weird Al, what's going on? And I yelled at him, hey, are you my dad? And he looked at me up and down and he goes, I don't know, maybe? I thought I had my Weird Al photo here somewhere, but I don't. It's always a disappointment when I don't have it, but I'll try to have that for next time. But I did meet Weird Al, and it is odd to see the two of us together in the same place. So I take that as a compliment. Weird Al is in fact my daddy. Let's see it. Let's see. Do I have that? Let me look through all these dirty pictures. I do. That's me and Mr. Weird Al Yankovic hanging out. What's funny about that from a Breaking Bad standpoint, when I met him, it was right around the time of the end of Breaking Bad, and I knew he was a Breaking Bad fan because he posted about it a lot, and I asked him if I could cook meth on his trailer, and he said, sure, we've talked about that. So yeah, I definitely see it. Okay, Weird Al actually puts on quite the show. He does. I've seen Weird Al a couple times. Sorry, I had some Splatoon all over my face there for a second. What Room said 909. It was in the season 5 finale. Kim walked into a room that was labeled 609, which is funny because this episode is 609 and that's Kim's last episode. Oh, thank you, BCS. I appreciate that. The scene with Gus and the waiter had a lot of sexual tension. Does this confirm Max was his lover? I don't know if it confirms Max was his lover. I do feel like there was some chemistry and sexual tension in that scene. I do think it's more about Gus not being able to ever enjoy himself, really. You idiots! This isn't him. You're looking at his stunt double. I am his stunt double. It is true. It is true. I did meet him. And I said to him, Dad, and he looked me up and down and said, maybe. Okay, so let's look at our poll. Let's end our poll here with 1,231 votes. Thank you, everybody, for amazing. 77% of people say we will see Kim again. 22% of people say no way. Obviously, I voted, and I voted in the yes category. I do think we'll see Kim again. I don't see her not showing up in the series again by the end. Jennifer says Max was his lover. Absolutely. It makes a lot of sense in that situation. They never spell it out. I don't think they have to spell it out. I think he was precious to him, whether he was his lover, his best friend, his partner. Either way, they had a special relationship, and that broke Gus. Probably. What about the laser tag place? Laser tag place, I assume we're going to see sometime in the next couple of episodes. I'd be surprised if we don't. So many... Dracarys, bitch, I am with you 100%. It's weird because so many other roles were dead with their lucky numbers. Let's take a couple more comments here. Phil, play Amish Paradise on the bongos for a second. As I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. I can't put that way. Okay, enough of that. Sorry. Sorry for the ridiculously awful bongo playing. I couldn't help myself. I'm having fun tonight. Okay, so thank you so much, everyone, for joining us tonight. I'm so handy. Handy's a great song. I don't even know what my favorite Weird Al song is. I've seen him live a bunch of times, and I very much love him. He's one of my favorite performers. He's got an amazing voice, and his band is incredible live. It's actually surprising. And when you saw him back in the day in his main show, he would switch costumes and jump around all the time. But anyways, okay, so Party Like It's $16.99 here. Coolio got really pissed about that. He really did. He did. He was angry. So 313, did you catch Gus's wince during the oat down? Also, I think Kim comes back to be a lawyer before the end of the season, hence the swearing in. It's very possible that she could become a lawyer again by the end of the season to help Saul in his case when he turns himself in to try to finally deal with everything that happened. I think that is certainly a possibility. I did catch him right there. Didn't care for this episode, says Mighty Healthy. Absolutely. We appreciate your perspective as well, Mighty Healthy. We're not in an echo chamber here. We know that not everyone's going to love every episode, and I appreciate hearing your perspective on why you didn't enjoy this episode as much as I did and some other people did. Hey, come here. Bean. Don't bark. What are you doing? What are you doing, Bean? But yeah, Weird Al puts on an amazing show. Some of the best concerts I've ever been to. John says Saul wasn't about to let a big bottle of Viagra go to waste. Nope, he was not. You cannot let the Viagra go to waste. You use that. Be an effective lover, my friend. Thank you, EJ. You're amazing. One thing I liked about this episode's The Cinnabon Manager was how it went from sad, tragic scene to Kim and Jimmy to waking up next to a hooker. And I've said this a few times, that's the thing I love most about Better Call Saul, that it's able to walk that line so effortlessly between tragedy and comedy. It's just so incredible. Kim is kind of like Walt in some ways. Please give us your thoughts about the last scene at the mall. It looks like a raffle or something. You mean the preview scene for next week that you're talking about? The scene that we see the image at the mall and we hear... Do I still have it here? And we hear him giving this like random speech. To me, I think the mall scene was a Gene scene. So I think it's telling us we're going to see Gene in the next episode. I don't know what kind of speech Jimmy Saul was giving in that moment. Excuse me. It seems like the next episode we might just get a full Saul Goodman kind of episode in the next episode. Like almost what the spin-off series could have been if they did the comedic Saul Goodman kind of series. I feel like the next episode is going to be all Saul all the time. But I don't know. Coolio was very pissed at that, though. Reminds me of, did they drop the blank and blank episode? Yes. The next episode title that we get to in our next episode, unless they changed it and were bullshitting us, is called Nippy. And our episode description is a new player enters the battlefield or something to that effect. Did anyone catch the public Yes, the public masturbation Easter egg. I loved it. I loved his ding, ding, ding as well, my friends. So I guess now is as good a time as any. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in tonight. If you haven't already and you enjoyed this, if you haven't already, and you enjoyed this video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, share the channel with a friend. Thank you everyone that's been joining us all season long. We've gone from like 20 people live to over 300 for most of tonight. So we very much appreciate all you guys joining us. We hope you all join us every episode for the remainder of the season and maybe into some other shows afterwards. But even if not, we appreciate you joining us for this ride on Better Call Saul. It's incredible. I will be back next week to talk about the episode again. I may be back midweek to do a little short video on Better Call Saul. But if not, I will definitely be back next Monday evening to talk about the show again. I cannot wait. I'll also be doing a random Only Murders in the Building podcast with a couple of awesome friends at some point in time. We're going to be covering House of the Dragon. Excuse me. We'll be covering House of the Dragon after this season ends. I hope you stick around for that. Also, Cobra Kai, the new season of Cobra Kai, and lots of shows moving forward in the next year. So I hope that you subscribe, stick around with the channel, as I know so many people that are watching right now aren't even subscribers. So please subscribe to the channel. Help join in the fun. Thank you to our super chatters. Thank you to our voicemailers. Thank you to our texters. And most of all, thank you to our live motherfucking chat for keeping this so exciting and fun for me tonight. You guys are amazing. You guys make this even more fun for me. And I hope you're back next week for more hijinks and silliness. We're not done. We got 4 more episodes of this. It's going to be a fun run. Strap on in, everybody. Love you guys. Talk to you next time. Wait. I need the music again. I'm not done, dude. That's not the song. Play this one more time. Whoa. Do I have some... What's going on here? Ooh. Are you watching me? Are you watching me live right now, Gina? Please tell me you're watching. I see that you're typing. But I don't know if you're actually watching me live right now. If you are, hi, Gina. Thank you for finding my YouTube channel. Let's hang out. I'm humiliating myself live on stream. But no, thank you guys, chat. Thank you. You guys keeping this discussion going in the chat have been so much fun tonight. Thank you to, let's see who's still in here. Jennifer, Jen, I feel like Kim broke up with us and we got no closure. Jennifer, don't go. I'm alone. I'm alone. I can't go. We get another text. Like I said, as long as we get super chats and texts, I can't stop. 313 is like, don't stop. Almost seems like they were robbing a mall in the preview. It did kind of seem like that. It did seem like that. Oh, don't stop typing. Did I interrupt? I interrupt Gina in mid-type. She's like, oh my god, he's talking about me. Are you in the live chat right now? Say hi if you are. Smell you later. Love you guys. Thank you for the fun stream. Can I get 10 more minutes? Agent, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? You want 10 more minutes, Agent? You want 10 more minutes? I don't know if I'll give you 10 more minutes, but I'll give you a few more minutes. Can I I can't even end things. I can't. Can I? I can keep you here. Wish I had a bell. Ding, 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 motherfuckers. Don't tempt me. Here we go. Stay with us. Stay with me tonight. We still have over 200 people watching us live. So do I have the heart to leave you right now when we're still at 200 people watching live? Maybe not. I love you, Phil, and I dig your fans in your live streams the most. Love you all. See you next Monday. Thank you. I'm saying the extended goodbye. Just got Agent Neptune says here's a super chat. I just fucking got here. You want me to leave right now? You're gonna end the show? Grab a drink, Phil. Let's talk. Go pour another drink. Oh my God. I wish we had a bell to keep you here. I wish I did as well. Agent Neptune, toast to you, my friend. Let me toast this drink. Let's listen to a song. Give me a few minutes. I'm gonna go get one more drink and we're gonna call this a show. We'll have to take a few more questions and comments because I can't end things right now, all right? It is a very long goodbye, Kyle. You guys are keeping me here. Soft badge. Don't just pull a Kim and leave us. Oh my goodness. Okay, one more drink. You know what you guys did? You equivalently of encored me. You're like the audience at the end of a rock show, and you demanded 10 more minutes. So I'm not sure if I'm going to give you 10 more minutes, maybe 5 more minutes, maybe a few more seconds here. But let's order a pizza. Don't end the relationship right now, Phil. Come on. We're all dealing with the emotional aspect of this. We're not ready for you to go yet. Are you tired? Fuck yeah, Phil. That's my man. Okay, I'm not going yet. If you guys promise you'll come back next week, share the channel with a friend, help get more people to this nonsense over here. We'll go a few more minutes. We still got 273 people here watching here. I don't feel comfortable letting you guys go quite yet. Jennifer says I'm not Jennifer. Fuck yeah, Phil. That's my man. The irony is the bell dinging that kills Gus. Encore Phil, at least 6 minutes and 38 seconds. Throw that pizza on the roof for tribute. Throw that. If anyone wants to call on in, now's the time. 781-990-8509. Call on in. 781-990-8509. Let's see if we can get a live caller on the air right now. Agent Neptune says more. Honestly, you keep those super chat comments. I'm not going to stop. Toast to you. But yeah, if you want to call in right now, we might actually do a live call on the air right now. Throw that pizza on the roof. Let's do it. I'm drunk as hell, but no throwing up. But yeah, sorry to keep this going. People are like, yeah, stop this stuff, Phil. Like, let's just stop this. So there you go. Kim makes it until at least some point in the 11th episode. It claims the picture of Walter White's hair is from the 11th episode. I do think Kim makes it to the end. I think we don't see her for a couple of episodes. I think we get a little break from Kim in the end of the Kim storyline, but I do think we eventually do see Kim again. We get Agent Neptune. What am I drinking? I'm drinking some Tito's right now, and my dog is licking the cold Tito's bottle from the freezer. So thank you. I know we lost a handful of people that I was like ending the show, so that some people stepped away. But I thank you those of you that have sticking around. The number Agent Neptune is 781-990-8509. Again, that's 781-990-8509. I want to hear Neptune's voice. He already gave $10. He deserves it. Thank you so much for those super chat donations. As I've said many times, they're never expected, but they're wonderfully appreciated in all ways, shapes, or forms. And yes, I don't blame you. I get nervous calling into radio shows or podcasts or something, especially when you get a drunk hippie like me going on here. Kim always traveled with a pink teddy bear. Jesse's brother literally fucked him over on watching Breaking Bad. He did. He totally fucked him over. Everyone knows who The Rock is. But yeah, this was a great episode of Better Call Saul, and I'm very curious where this season is going moving forward. How much time are we going to spend in this particular timeline? Are we going to move forward to the Jean timeline quicker? It seems in the preview for the next episode, it looked like the Jean timeline mall, but I don't know for a fact that we're moving that quickly into the timeline. Phil, if Kim dies, how would you want her to go out? At this point, I'm not sure if I'd want Kim to go out in any way. I don't see it necessarily an organic way for her to go out. But if I wanted her to go out in a way, I would say somehow defending Saul, like doing it for Jimmy somehow in some way, shape, or form. Will we see Badger next episode? I don't know if we're going to see Badger and Skinny Pete. They would be an interesting cameo for sure, and I know some people want that Badger and Skinny Pete prequel series or adventure series about that. For some reason, the call-in did not work. We ended up getting a voicemail. I'm going to have to figure out why the call-in stuff's not working, but we do have a voicemail from area code 404. Sorry about that, 404. If you want to call... What the fuck is this? But area code 404, sorry, for some reason the calling in isn't work. I clicked off the do not disturb thing, so it should have rang for me, but I might need to figure this out. So,
hey Phil, this is Agent Neptune. I'm from Atlanta, Georgia. I'm trying to reach you via your most recent response on your channel.
Neptune, I don't know why it's not working for me to have you actually call directly in. I could try. Could I do this? Could I actually go? Could I actually call you? I think I'm just voicemails are the only thing that's working right now. I might need to work on it, but this is area code 870.
Ali, definitely one of, I would say, the better episodes. I loved the show pace at the beginning, but the second half will be fast paced.
Yep.
With the drama, everything. I love the setup. I hope we get one in JC at least in a couple of episodes.
Me too. I hope we get that kind of energy in a couple of episodes. As always, thank you so much for the voicemails. Kim has a fetish for rooting people's lives. Phil the Issues guy, it just turns her on. Holy shit, we got Drakaris bitch with a super chat donation. Buy yourself a small gift, Phil, for being awesome and dedicated to our favorite TV show. By the way, I stand Kim. I want to see her happy in the end. I do too. I think she is, in a weird way, one of our main characters. Our main character of this entire series and the character that we followed the most from the beginning to the end. I know Jimmy's really the main character, but I just mean she's the one we've seen the most character growth in the sense that we don't know where her character's going. So I feel so connected to Kim. But anyways, let's listen to a little bit more of this voicemail. Sorry for the call-in stuff not working, Nathan Neptune. I'm trying to figure this out. It should be ringing on my end, but it's not. I think the only thing I could do is call you, which could work. I guess but I don't know. I can't exactly do that. So if you want to leave another call, like a voicemail, like a longer voicemail with your question or comment, that would be awesome. Put me on. Agent Neptune says, put me on the fucking show. Get me on the show. I'd love to, but for some reason, it's not working. What should be happening right now is when you call, it should ring, but it's not. It's sending you right to voicemail. So I have to figure out my computer system right now, and it would be too annoying to do it now, right now, and I wouldn't be able to actually figure it out. So I'll try to figure that out for next time. But if you want to leave a full voicemail with some of your thoughts, Agent, I will definitely play it in full. Oh, wait, there it is. That's the sound. But where's the call? Incoming call. Where is it? Incoming call. How do I answer it? Let me answer it. Welcome, Neptune. Are you on the show?
I am on the show. How are you doing, Phil? How was your night?
My night's been great. You can hear me okay and all that?
Yes, is this real time?
Fuck, we're in real time, dude. What did you think of this episode, and what are some of your thoughts moving forward from this point?
First of all, I don't know how much they can cram into the last 4 episodes, but they're cramming it, aren't they? They're cramming it. I mean, they're just dropping Kim. They're just dropping Lalo. They're just dropping. I mean, they're dropping Howard. They're going to drop everybody, right?
They are. I mean, it's to this point where they really can't go any further. I mean, they've run out of people to drop because they've killed everybody at this point.
You know what? They got to leave someone, right? They got to go in a Gene timeline, and this is Better Call Saul. I mean, this is where he's going to stand up, and he's going to actually get Chuck's honor, right? Because he wanted Chuck's honor, and he's going to do it. He's going to march right back into ABQ. He'll probably end up in prison.
Do you think?
But you know what? He's probably going to make some kind of statement. Kim's out there. Kim ain't dead. She's there, man.
Do you think we see Kim in the Gene timeline?
Yes.
I think maybe Kim might help out Saul in that court case. Do you think Jeff might be connected to Kim looking for Saul in that situation?
Absolutely. Jeff is probably the whole setup. I know these writers, man, and it's just that Jeff is the setup for Kim. I think so. If they're going to go through the trouble of recasting, that means he's an important character, right?
That's a very good point. Like they didn't just recast and I don't think whether he's an important character or he's at least important enough that he's going to be in some scenes, because they wouldn't have recast just to reshoot the trailer.
Well, at some point they're going to have to either poison bagel this guy, or he's going to have to be something worth something, you know?
Absolutely. I think you're 100% correct on that.
So, all I can think of is that, I look back to Lalo, Cockroach. You got Lyle. He sings the Cockroach song with the harmonious voice.
He does.
Jimmy lives, man. I mean, I know these writers, and they're like, he is going to live. I think Jimmy might end up in prison, but Jimmy is going to be the ultimate survivor in the Breaking Bad game.
And it's weird, and I might do a video on this later, but it ultimately ends up that Jimmy's like the main character of the whole universe. I mean, Walter is just this unfortunate force that comes in later on, but I think what we've learned through all of this is that Jimmy's kind of our main character in the Albuquerque universe.
I mean, we can go beyond this. We can go into the whole side of the cartel. But we got 2 stories here. But ultimately, we have to come back to Jimmy. We have to come back to Saul, and we have to let Gus flow into Breaking Bad. But this is about Jimmy, and Jimmy has to own this, and Jimmy's gonna own it. And there's only one thing, bro. There's only one thing Jimmy can do at this point, and it's to outdo his brother, Chuck.
Yep.
And to actually save his own ass. And I don't know how he's going to do it, because the fact there's a lot of bullshit going on. But I just, I mean,
do you think that's possible?
I think that he's the guy for this, but he'll be the guy for this wearing an orange jumpsuit.
So you think the end of the series ends with him in jail?
I think so, man. I'm sorry.
Oh no, you don't have to be sorry. Like I tend to think similarly. I think he defends himself in the court case and ultimately loses, even though he does his best Saul Goodman manipulation tactics, but ultimately ends up losing and ends up in jail. I'm kind of on the same boat that. Who knows? And I think regardless of what it ends up being, we're going to be satisfied with the ending, or it's going to be done in a satisfying way, whether we agree with it or not. But
I think I'll be satisfied with the ending, just like Walter White, and he dropped, and then they played the Blue Crystal song,
the Crystal, Crystal.
And then they faded back. And I know Peter, and I know that we've got a lot that could be played out there and could be presented. But ultimately, I think Bob Odenkirk's probably done with this all. But I think that at some point they're going to have to acknowledge that this is a money-making series. AMC is. I just don't want them to milk it. You know.
I don't think they're going to. I think what Vince is going to do moving forward, I think, unlike other television series, and I know money talks, bullshit walks, blah, 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 but I think they don't want to do more seasons and more spin-offs unless it matters to them. Like, I think this is one of those weird projects where they're all working on it because they want to do it and they want to do something fun. So I don't think they're going to do more just to do more. Personally, that's what I think. And as much as I know everyone wants a spin-off series, and I don't want to be the Mr. Charlie asshole here, but I hope this is the last thing. I kind of hope this is the last series in this particular universe, and I want Vince and Peter to work on new projects together. I'd love to see them do more stuff together. I wouldn't mind seeing something more in the future, but I don't think they're going to milk this universe. I don't think they're going to.
And I certainly hope they don't. But just, I mean, come on now, think about it. I mean, wouldn't you like at least a Dark Kim miniseries? Come on.
It would be fun. It would be a lot of fun.
It would be fun. You know, I mean, a miniseries. You know, it's infinite. You know, and I think from there, you know, these guys can do anything. And just watching these last, first of all, I fucking hate the fact that I know that 4 episodes left. Fuck, what am I gonna do in my life? Well,
yeah, dude.
I'll find something else. But you know, it's just like Breaking Bad. You know, Vince Gilligan, Peter Gould, since what? How many years has this been? It has been entertaining me. They're making other shows like stale when they even come on board. You know.
Yeah, no, I agree. And thank you so much for the caller, man. It was great to talk to you, and I hope you have an awesome night. I hope you call back in next week as well. Have an awesome night, my friend.
Hey, man, have a good night. Take care.
Thank you so much to that caller. It was great to have a live caller one-on-one. And what's Jesse doing in Alaska? Living. We got one more text and one more voicemail, and then we'll call this a night. Just want to, let's listen to this voicemail.
Just my big hopes for the episode. I want to see Skylar White, Walt Jr., and Marie.
Okay, that's a good question. Do you guys want to see a conclusion with Skylar, Walter White, and Walter Jr. and all of that? I do think there is something to be said about the future with those characters and seeing, did Walt Jr. get his money? Did the kids get their money? What happened with Skylar in the future? I would definitely like to see that as well, my friend Eric. And 313 says, felt like they left the camera on that wine bottle for an extended period of time, mentioning new names. HHM was trying to see if it's a Breaking Bad Easter egg. Thoughts? One of the callers earlier mentioned that, was that the bottle of wine that Gus shared with Jesse later in the series? Very, very possible. Little callbacks like that are perfectly awesome with me, and I love that they do those kind of things. I hope Skylar doesn't end up in prison. Wouldn't it be cool to see the aftermath of Breaking Bad, Marie, Skylar, Walt Jr.? I would like to see that. Another vampire show, $1 million. Recent interview with the Gus actor where he hinted that I saw about the Gus series. The Gus series is the one that could be potentially interesting. In a Kim spinoff series, we'll see Holly, Kaylee, Skylar, and Jesse. That would be fun. Jesse equals Bill Cowhouses. There's a rumor that that's an Uncle Jack spinoff. I really wouldn't mind spinoffs, but the first thing I want to see is Vince and Peter to do something brand new, to create some new properties, because they're too good not to. You know what I mean? Exactly, Brando. I think Vince is done with this world for now, and he wants to create new properties, which is really awesome for us, because then we just have more things. I'm going to follow Vince and his team and Peter and his team through everything that they do, because I think they're the best people working. Okay, this time for real. Everyone, thank you so much for joining me tonight. This has been really, really fun. It's hard for me to even stop right now because you guys have been incredible. I will be back next week to do this all over again. And 4 more times at least. And then, of course, we'll do other series moving forward, so I hope you stick around too. So everyone, thank you so much. Please hit that like button. Please hit the subscribe button. Share the channel with a friend. Come back next week for more silliness, more goofiness, more over-the-top discussions, and more live motherfucking chats. I got the comments, I got the phone lines set up for real-time phone calls right now. Excuse me. It's going to be a lot of fun. Can't wait to see where they go next week. I'll talk to you guys next time. Peace.